production. Good evening, gentlemen. This is Sir Yeetus. Welcome to episode 55 of Yeetus' Thoughts. Today, we're going to talk about two separate topics. One of them I'm going to address to you guys, and the other one is when our special guest comes in and we're able to talk about the Save Yourself Black Men issues. But currently, at the moment, I would like to talk about the gynocracy that we have in society in general. Okay, I want to speak on something in a broader sense, in like that affects men throughout Western society. I'm going to address that real soon. And when our guest is able to come here, then we will address the save yourself black men topics. But for the time being, let me check out the comments right quick and then we can begin. Man, you can hop on if you want. Okay. Bam, 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 bam. Hey, Lion MGTOW, go ahead and take your time, man. Take your time. We will definitely be talking about that other situation very soon. But for the time being, let's talk about gynocracy. What is gynocracy? It's pretty much when man, I don't know who that is, but he sounds important if you mentioned him. So I'll check him out later. Too easy. Um, Gynocracy is pretty much society is pretty much ran by women, especially politically. Politically, political power, power in general in society is primarily ran by women. All right. How do I know this? Just think about it, gentlemen. If you have to be very careful of how you critique a certain group, that's the group that has all the power. If you have to watch what you say around a certain group in fear or just avoiding consequences in general, dealing with that group has power. Okay. I mean, a lot of power to the point where you can be punished just for pointing out something that they're doing wrong, which is murder women. The gynocracy that we have in Western society, it affects all aspects of society, everything, especially raising the next few generation of men. Do you know how many effeminate men there are increasing like crazy in the United States? Do you know how many women are LARPing as men, claiming that they're strong and independent, don't need a man, or they feel that they're a man? And that's just one of many issues that we have with this gynocentric system. All right. Men in general, except for the people that's in the MGTOW community, Red Pill community, wherever it is, they're too afraid to call modern women out these days. All right. Whether it's United States, Canada, Europe, etc. Men just don't they deem that the risk is too high to even call a woman out on their bullshit because somehow they themselves are the ones that's going to be dealing with the consequences, even though they didn't do nothing wrong. They're just pointing out, hey, maybe you should be doing this. Then, bam, somehow, some way, you're in handcuffs. It's crazy. It's insane. This gynocentric system is very bad, and I'm going to start sending out links right now until the guest is able to come in and we'll be able to talk about this. We need to talk about the gynocentric system. All right, I'm spamming the StreamYard chat. If you guys have time to join and talk about this, go ahead. Once again, gentlemen, women are able to get their problems taken very seriously. Very seriously. Even when they're strong and independent, they don't need a man. They need men to do their bidding. But when a man has an issue, he's on his own. That's crazy, ain't it? Crazy to the point where if a man legitly has an issue when it comes to being assaulted, when it comes to getting robbed, when it comes to getting beat up, whatever it is, whatever happens to him, the only thing that society is going to tell him is to man up or shut up. You're here to just to produce. You're not here to worry about your feelings. That's literally how society sees men today. It's pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna add Gray right quick. What's going on, Gray?
Evening, Warband.
So, based on what I said so far, what's your perspective?
Well, you're definitely not wrong about men primarily being seen as a resource nowadays. Honestly, it's kind of a wonder, like how much that's always been an extent, because that is the male role in society. Like any society, any group of people, like if you had one man and 100 women, that society is going to collapse. Because one man, no matter how skilled he is not going to be able to support 100 women. Like even Jeff Bezos nowadays, yeah, he's got the money, but he needs that money to get men to work for him. So, it is the lot in life of a man to always be depended on for resources and always to be seen for resources.
Which men don't mind.
Well, no.
It's just that it's a one-sided situation in today's society.
Well, it's because we don't get the authority that corresponds with our responsibility. And that's been the major difference. The government, which is owned by women due to the political system, those are the ones that carry the authority.
Yeah, we're pretty much slaves. Men are slaves in 2022. Yep, I said it, chat. Men in general are fucking slaves in this gynocentric system. Tell me I'm wrong. Until men and masses are able to say, fuck this, we will continue to be wage slaves, if we want to be specific.
Well, if we're going to go for there, then we have to... I'm not entirely saying it wrong, but I think it's
how it exists in the first place.
I think that's a curious point to pick apart, though. Because when you have the slave, you must have the owner. And the owner is not women.
Well, you don't think they don't own us indirectly?
That's the thing. It's indirectly. A woman on her own cannot own a man.
No,
she needs other men.
Yeah. She can't physically do it on her own. I agree. But like you said before, she has women in general and society has most of the political power. When it comes to who to put in office and what person that agrees with their ideals in the sense of men are bad, women are good, let's give them free stuff on men's expense.
But you see, that's where it gets kind of interesting because it's still men at the top.
Well, men or women or whoever's in office.
Well, no, even because here's the thing: if you had like women like at the top, they are like primarily puppets. Like there's very few instances of a woman independently holding some kind of power throughout history. It's still men enslaving men, but they use women as the medium. Women are the excuse. Like, oh, let's give women the right to vote. Oh, this many people say this politician should be in power. And then all the men who are getting screwed over by it go, well, it was a fair election and the people have spoken.
Do you believe that it's going to get to the point where there will be primarily women in office? Or women in power?
No, women don't like women in power.
Well, in certain countries, Western countries, there's still a few women that are in power, built on the backs of men, yes, but they're still voted into the highest office.
You know, hey, hey everyone, how you doing? I'm glad I was able to make it. I wanted to add on that. It's actually kind of funny because women hate other women in power more than virtually anybody. And so there's going to come a time where women will have to deal with other women. They are not going to like it, and this is why it's just a laughable thing. Women did not earn their rights. They were given to them because they piggybacked off of men who went to war and fought for a country to treat them like a third rate citizen and those same rights, like they were skipped over and it was given to women. So when women, especially American women, act like they're strong and independent, they're not. And yeah, I'm gonna say it in the chat. American women are the weakest women I have ever known or seen in my entire life. In other countries, you have women join the military, or even if they don't do that, they'll farm and damn carry a damn log or whatever up the hill. They at least make a freaking attempt to do something. But American women, or Western women as a whole, are so entitled, spoiled, narcissistic, and damn near blind to reality to the point where they feel like they can move heaven and earth. And then you have these simps that enable their behavior. And that's the thing. Women can never grow for two reasons. One, like, or half of it being their own biology that like limits them, and the other half is the fact that a lot of people do not allow them to. Whenever a woman has a problem, people help them, or at the very least, they'll listen. Whenever a man has a problem, oh, like the same woman crying about whatever will tell you to man up. Oh, man up. You
Yeah,
just
I
need to
agree,
take it.
man. I agree, but I'm gonna address this right quick. Gray is correct that select group of elite men use women as a buffer between themselves and us. Well, that doesn't disregard the fact that there will be a woman that's going to be in the highest office of the land, um, in more Western countries as time goes on, if society doesn't collapse. All right. So with Kamala Harris, if Joe Biden doesn't kick the bucket or get removed from office, she's next in line.
But you really
So
think it will be the
I know that there's
personal
elites.
agenda
I
of
didn't
Kamala
agree.
Harris?
Huh?
But you really think that it will be Kamala
I never
Harris's?
said, like I said, I agree with you.
Hmm.
I never said I disagree with you, bro. What I'm saying is it disregards the fact that there's going to be more and more female leaders, more and more. You know,
I
I don't know what happens completely behind closed doors, and I guarantee you, I'm sure there's some elites out there, especially the people that are in charge of the banks and has all the money and all that stuff. That's moving the chess pieces. But in the
well,
end, they want somebody that's easily gullible. They want somebody that's easily manipulative in the highest office of the land. It's a little bit more difficult to control a man compared
well,
to
And
a
that's
woman.
someone
why.
immune to criticism too. That's the advantage of having a female at the highest point of office. You can't again, it follows the same thing. Who are you not allowed to criticize? If you have that protected demographic at the top, well, any criticism can be immediately ignored or deflected.
But I'm
And
gonna
it can
be
be done in a way that like men all over will jump to support it.
And that's the thing. I mean, men's biology has been used against us for the longest time. If anybody wanted to make a lot of money, like sell a product, it's a lot easier to sell to women because women pay more than anyone. They'll spend men's money, they'll spend their money. Hell, they'll even spend their freaking children's money. The government use women as a metaphorical bullet at men. Being and there's and the funny part about this is you get a single man and he's doing his things, making money. You can't tell him shit. But the moment he gets a woman in the picture, oh, the government will come. Oh, you got children, you got a bitch over there, and then next thing you know, women tell everybody that dude's business. It doesn't even matter whether you're proven you're guilty until proven guilty, pretty much in this current system that we live in. And Yeetus is right. Women are going to gain more power and positions. But here's the thing about the elites and the people in the comment section. Pay real close attention to this. You ever notice that these same guys will pass laws and the only people affected are the poor and the common man? Do you really think someone like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk deal with the same shit we would deal with bitches?
Of course
No.
not. Well,
Well, he did
Jeff,
lose half of
Jeff
Amazon.
Bezos, yeah, he still
Yeah.
has to deal with it because he with all that money, he's still lame.
Yeah,
Jeff
but he's also
Bezos.
not
Yeah.
living in his car. So.
Exactly.
No, even
That's
when
the
he's the
point.
richest man on earth, he still can't keep his girl in check. It's
And
pretty
that's
pathetic if you ask me.
it is really pathetic. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is like just these elites and these guys make shit ton of money. Even if let's say they lose, they'll just lawyer up. Some of them have lawyered up and fucked over bitches. And shit. The thing about it is, does anyone here really believe Bill Gates or anyone in his position is gonna miss like $1 billion? And it's just like a dime to him. He'll make that shit back in a day. Doesn't even matter. He can take like 10 bitches. It wouldn't even matter. The thing about it is, laws are passed to affect the common man, the poor. These guys will never deal with it in the same way we do. So why would they care? Women are used as a buffer in order
I
to
agree.
control
Do
men.
you expect the people that create the rules to follow them? Like,
Well,
no,
you
hell
see,
no.
well,
Exactly.
no, but that's the funny thing because back in the day when there were much smaller groups, if you had a leader of the group, like the alpha, let's say of a small tribe of 20 or whatever, and he didn't follow the rules, he had to sleep sometime.
Yeah.
We call that a blanket party in the military. So when it comes to women getting more and more power, right? In my opinion, that's a big sign of society collapsing. One of the biggest signs, in my opinion,
Yep.
right? Not just the US, I'm talking about just the West in general. Okay. Because society got so spoiled, society got so weak that they deem that they're gonna give these particular women the highest power of the land and expect them not to fuck up. Like, are you serious? Like, and when things go to shit, do you really think she's gonna take responsibility when
Well, that's the
when
funny.
their country's collapsing?
Well, that's the funny thing. Do the people who are giving them the power expect them to not fuck up, or do they expect them to fuck up?
They expect them to
The
fuck up
people in
because
power, yeah, they expect, but I'm just talking about the common people.
But the
You know,
common people aren't the one.
when they hold her responsible, which
Common
there were
people.
people in high political power. Yeah, I'll say dictators because the earliest one is Gaddafi. I forgot his name. I think it's Gaddafi. That literally got killed by his own people, literally. So, do you really believe that they're like she's going to take responsibility when her country goes to shit? I'm talking about today's society right now because it's not looking good for any of us. And what happens if shit gets worse, especially with the current events that's happening today between China and Taiwan, between Russia and Ukraine, and supposedly Joe Biden wants to intervene. So when things go freaking nuts with our allied powers, do you really expect them to take responsibility? The female prime ministers? Hell no.
women are never going to take responsibility for one particular reason. And I may get in trouble for this shit, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Women are
Try to code it if you deem that it's not YouTube friendly.
all right. Well, I will say there are certain creatures in this world, some who possess the Tanuki that are very useful with minions, and for the most part, women will fold. It doesn't even matter whether society is wealthy. Doesn't matter whether it's just third world. Women fold every time. It doesn't even matter if they could hold the highest position. If the world goes to shit, the only thing that's gonna happen is the price of vagina is gonna fluctuate. That's oh damn, the vagina stock market's down today. Better get out there and start fucking.
Well, right now it's on an all
That's
time
what it is.
low. All time low. Virginity is at all time high.
Yep. I mean,
So
but for how long? I mean, the thing about it is, it's only value. Women only change their behavior whenever, like, it's like the wind, and it has to be like a weird. Their behavior literally is like the fucking stock market for the most part. If you take Frank and he's an asshole in America, he's gonna be an asshole anywhere else. But if you take Jessica or whatever you put, she's whatever the hell she needs to be for that given moment. Oh, okay, dictators took over. I guess I'll be a fucking war bride now. They don't care. Women don't give a shit about society. They don't give a shit about politics. They could give a fuck less about society. They have an attitude where it feels good, so I'm going to do it, even if it
Well,
fucking kills me.
hey, the barbarian has to be at the gate before they, try to shape up. But in the end, it's too late. All the men in society is getting cut down, and they once again, I agree with you, Black Wolf. They won't hesitate to get on their back. That's why personally, me, my opinion, I deem that women are not capable of loyalty. They're not capable of the word love or integrity. I don't deem that it's possible. The only people that she will be loyal to, possibly, and love, possibly, is her own kids. That's the closest that she'll get to that. Even then, of course, they're still shitty mothers. But majority of the time, that's the only time a woman will, 9 times out of 10, will give her loyalty or her love to is her kids.
And even that
Never the
maternal
man,
thing, and even
ever.
that maternal thing barely even lasts for a while. I mean, I feel
Right,
like
that's
going
it.
up to every woman that has a kid and go, hey, don't eat them.
No, man, no. What I was like, well, you get what I'm saying, though, right?
I know, I get what you're saying. I'm just
Okay,
messing with them.
okay.
I just think it's funny that these women. That's the only time you really ever see them being nice. That maternal thing will last for a while, but when a child starts to grow up, I've even seen women like they shift, especially if it's a young boy. And whatever the father does, the young boy will get blamed for. And that's why I was making that joke. Like that shit would shift because some animals, when they have a litter, they either just leave the weakest one to die, or they fucking eat them. And that's why I was making the joke, like just walk in the
Oh,
hospital, like,
it's all good,
hey, don't
man.
eat them.
It's all good. I'm just trying to have the chat or anybody else listening. Like, if you know that the woman, she won't be loyal, she won't be loving her own man, let alone the man that got her pregnant. She's willing to do a 180 depending on the situation. Why will you put her at the highest office in the land?
Because they want
You think
to.
she won't do the same thing when she's up there?
Well, let's think. This is where I think it does kind of fall onto the men for a moment. Because
What
I
do you
don't,
mean?
well, because here's the thing. I don't think it's so much that the women shape up when the barbarian's at the gates. I think it's the men are finally done accepting their game of pretend. The men finally say, okay, bitch, shut the fuck up. There's real shit happening now.
That's true, but Gray, you guys can stay. Our guest is here. We're gonna switch up the topic right quick, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
All right, y'all. Everybody, welcome the one, the only Black Ram 313. What's going on, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be here, man. Hanging out with you fellas. Shout out to you, sir. How you say that? Yeetus, right?
Yes.
That's how you say it. Black Wolf Gray, salute.
Hello to you,
See,
bro.
this is a top, Save It So Black, man. I knew that this topic has been talked about years ago, but lately it hasn't really been talked about as much. I only know the main people like Black Ram, O'Shea Do Jackson. Yeah, I'll put in Kevin Samuels too. He does deal with black relationships, and
Live in the
these
MGTOW.
couple other people that I forgot their names, but it's not really being talked about as much anymore. It's just you guys left.
Yeah, well, I'm not officially SYSBM. That was started by a gentleman named Mad Bus Driver X. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's the brainchild behind it. It was his creation.
Yeah.
And before that, of course, you had the MGTOW community. So this is how it went. So it was like a branch, right? So
Right.
first you had the men's rights movement. which broke off and branched into the MGTOW movement. The MGTOW movement spawned and branched off to IPMOR, which was my side for a while. I'm not necessarily IPMOR anymore. And IPMOR and SYSBM and a few other ones, right? Then out of that came the Black Manosphere. So when you see O'Shea Duke, you see Kevin Samuels and everybody else that's very popular on YouTube, before it was them, it was first, right? IPMOR and SYSBM and MGTOW before they came out. All right. So, and the Manosphere was very small at the time, around 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. So you didn't see this rendition of the Black Manosphere till about 2015, 2016, when they started gaining notoriety, and then a lot of people came up out of that. So just to be clear, and SYSBM is basically Save Yourself Black Man, started by Mad Bus Driver X, who basically saying, hey, deal with white girls. My brand is different. I have my own brand now, so I'm not IPMOR anymore or SYSBM. My brand is the real pill, because I believe what my ideology does, it goes further than the red pill and goes further than the black pill, and definitely is not blue pill. So the real pill basically is a version of the female nature and understanding that blends the black and the red, but goes a little bit further, and I would say simplifying it. So although it goes further, it simplifies all your interactions with a female, basically, which basically is this. And it's extremely simple. And I don't know how PG you keep your show, but basically, whether the black pill says, hey, you know what, it's looks, money, and status. And black pill is right. It is about looks, money, and status. If you handsome guy, you got great social status, you know, and you got money, women are attracted to you. Red pill say, no, it's not about that. It's about game and confidence. And they're right. That is an element called game and confidence. But at the end of the day, what I realized, and of course, the red pill talks about different personality types like alpha and all of that. But at the end of the day, whether you look good, got money, got status, whether your game is good, whether you're confident, whether you alpha or whatever, beta even, a female is going to have relations with all of them. So she's going to FUC, you know, the rest, the alpha, the beta, the guy with game, the guy with looks, the guy with money, status. In other words, they're all HOs anyway. So no matter how you cut it up, you're dealing with a modern prostitute. So having said that, how much is it worth to go after women using either red pill game or looks, money, status, because it's all the same. She'll have sex with a guy that's broke, and she'll have sex with a guy that's rich. So for a woman, there is no limit to her sexuality. She's all over the place with it. There is no limit. So the real pill, not red, the real pill says, hey, they're all HOs at the end of the day. Period. And she'll sleep with all of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree, man. And what I tell people, it's all about the environment. It's not about the woman itself, because women throughout the world, they're all the same. And personally, you can't get mad at them for that. You know, it's their nature. It's pretty much female nature. But in the environment, when it comes to like the culture, the laws and stuff, that's when it starts to becomes different throughout the land.
Right.
And can you, for that guy Pete, can you clarify what IPMOR is?
Yeah, IPMOR is Introspective Black Men of Reform, a group that I used to be a part of. How can I explain it? Basically, it was started by a gentleman named The Last Crucible in Adigon Forest. It basically was a reaction to the MGTOW community, who seemed to have at the time, because this is history, at the time seemed to have alienated a lot of black men. I don't think that's so much the case now, but of course, I was there for the inception of all of these things. I've been around a long time, since 2013 to be exact. So in response to that alienation that many of us felt, we decided to go our own way and start our own group that addressed our issues. At the time, not necessarily now, it was a lot of a huge racist elements that was in there that wasn't addressed. So how can I sit up there and address, because in my estimation, we were all talking as brothers of the same struggle because we are men. But then you had an element that we're talking against black men. Like, we're the problem. Like, well, how can we sit up here with you guys and, you know, laugh and joke when you basically are telling me that I'm the problem for your white establishment? Of course, that's something that's, you know, long ago. I don't think it any longer applies per se. And although I have IPMOR in my avatar, I'm not specifically IPMOR anymore. It's like more part of my history, of my evolution. Right. So I do my own thing. I'm not a part of any group. So my thing is real peel. So that's a thought, an idea, a philosophy. So instead of joining on to groups like MGTOW and IBMOR, now I do my own thing. I mean, I've been in this game long enough. I've evolved enough to have my own brand of things. So now I just represent real peel thought. And I have a few other guys who ascribe to the real peel ideology. And I want to spread it a little bit more because it's very simplified. And in that ideology, it's about getting money through investments and traveling the world and dealing with foreign women. So in a sense, it's like SYSBM, because why would I want to deal with Keisha, in the hood and that attitude, whether that's educated Keisha or welfare Keisha, when I can deal with Mei Ling in the Philippines that's eager to please. Now, don't get me wrong, it's all transactional, but it's like this. One has much better presentation and customer service. So just to explain what IBMOR is, it was Introspective Black Men of Reform, and it was a group that was started a while ago. I want to say like maybe 2015, 2014 to kind of address those issues that we felt were important. But again, I'm no longer a part of IBMOR per se, but when I do see like people like BGS, I'll say, hey, my IBMOR brother, because that's our history. So I don't completely shun it, but I do my own thing, if that answers your question.
Yep, and I definitely agree with what you're saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, I've been overseas multiple times.
Mm-hmm. And let me talk about geomaxing. And I'm familiar with the black pill, and that is geomaxing. But what the real pill says, geomaxing is basically basically you go in different places to seek out relations. And geomaxing is basically saying, hey, it's better in America. Well, it's not as bad in America. Let me go over here. It's like a way to cope with the fact that women are black pilled, and I think true female nature is black pilled. Look, money and status. However, what the real pill says is that since they're all prostitutes, essentially, and I'm talking about your so-called regular girls to the streetwalkers, they're all the same. What the real pill says is whatever you're dealing with, it doesn't really matter in the sense that it's all the same mentality. You're just trying to get the best deal you can find. Because there is no solution to the way women are, because we live in a gynocentric feminized world. So there is no real solution. All you can do, right, is try to get the best deal. And geomaxing may be the best deal that you can get, because female nature is universal. It's going to be the same, because society has unleashed a monster, giving them rights and freedoms that they actually shouldn't have. So having said that, black people say, oh, well, that's coping, you geomaxing. Yeah, because as a real pill person, I've given up on the idea and concept of traditional love and marriage. Men want to be loved. It's not just about having, intimacy. Men want to be loved.
Right.
But you have to give up on that. Absolutely. So for the black pill guys, give up on that idea. And we understand that she only loves looks, money, and status. We got that. And her love is just really lust. But give up on the idea of finding a traditional relationship and marrying someone and living happy ever after. That world is never coming back. The world has changed. So what you have to do is adapt. Go ahead, bro.
Would you say give up that ideal in the West, or give up that ideal in general?
I would say in general, because if you travel somewhere,
okay,
guess what she's gonna like you for? Because you're a foreigner. You're an American. You're from England. Right. The perception is that you have money and you have an education. You have a certain amount of class. So looks, money, status still apply. It's universal. So I believe men should give up on that idea and make it simply about getting your needs met physically, because women truly don't even have a woman no longer can meet your emotional needs.
I agree with you saying, man, 1,000,000%. Like, when you put it that way, and on top of that, the perspective that you have that's saying that women are actually black pilled, I never thought about it that way.
Absolutely.
That's good. But what's going on, Lion and MGTOW?
Sure, fam.
You've been listening in for a bit so far. So based on what Black Ram said, I'm asking you as well. So give up on that ideal of having a serious relationship in general, like whether it's in the West or anywhere else. Like just give up on the idea of a woman loving you for you, not because of your money or your status. Because you know the old saying, she doesn't love you for you, she loves what you can provide, right?
Yes.
So,
to me, It goes like this. Yeah, I think the whole thing for the most part is a zero-sum game. So your best bet is just to give up on it because you're just like a lot of guys today. They're chasing Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. I mean, relationships, dating, marriages. It's all a zero-sum game right now. So your best bet is just to focus on yourself, better yourself for yourself.
Absolutely.
And if you got skills and abilities, keep building. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
your time here's finite.
That's a man's curse, though. Unfortunately,
It
because
is.
we how do you say? What was it again? We love idealistically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a curse for us because we have that perception of somebody. We add in that hope factor that like okay, she's different than the rest of these girls,
Mm-hmm. And that
and
never works out.
right, that never
Never
work out
works out.
whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But since both of you guys are here right now, I want to get into the few topics that I would like to talk about. Because I know both of you guys you guys tend to be busy, so I'm gonna get right down to it. Black Ram, I'm gonna start with you. So, based on what's been happening within the last 10 years, more specifically the last 5 years, how do you what's your perspective on how the media and society in general they work so hard to make men feminine, and it's not just the last 10 years. I know it goes back even longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your perspective in general on they're trying to make black men feminine?
Yeah, and it seems like those efforts have been revved up in the last few years. I mean, you see all these celebrities being put in dresses. It's a move basically saying that masculinity is, of course, toxic, especially black male masculinity. On one hand, they appreciate the pseudo masculine, and by pseudo masculine, I mean thuggo in them, and pseudo masculinity meaning that they over exaggerate masculinity to make up for their lack of true masculinity. Masculinity is about being confident and complete in yourself. It's about being creative and it's about being productive. But thuggo in them, with the pseudo masculinity, overly violent, pretending to be tougher than what they actually are, that has always been celebrated. But that's actually, believe it or not, a feminine trait. Because see, femininity wants to be seen, femininity wants to be heard. Femininity is impulsive. Masculinity is strong, reserved, and quiet for the most part, right? And the reason why somebody may be in the letter community, as far as a man is concerned, because he looks dainty. He wants to be seen. He's wearing flamboyant clothing. He's all over the place. He's everywhere. He's loud. He's boisterous. He walks in the room and wants to create a scene. Well, that's thuggo. It may look different, but thuggo has to wear the fancy jewelry, the chains, and have his pants hanging down to be seen. So that's really femininity. So basically, this false masculinity, which is really femininity, has been promoted by the culture, our culture, for decades, but it's even more so on display to where, okay, now put on a dress. Okay, now, act more like a woman. So the culture is providing, I would say, conditioning our young people more and more to take on feminine characteristics and ideologies. And we live in a world of feminism and gynocentrism. It's actually in American society, of course, the West period, is actually a bad thing to be a male. If you're a man, that means it's bad. If you're a female, it's good. Everything about a woman is good. Everything about a man is bad. They believe women have higher virtue, higher morality, when actually the reverse is true. Women are actually amoral and opportunistic. They have no real morals. A woman's moral change based upon how she feels and what she needs at the time, not based off principle that she's going to hold to regardless of how she feels at the time. And that's the difference. Principles say, hey, regardless of how I feel, I'm going to hold on to this. A female can't have principle. That's a masculine trait. So what women do is, oh, well, I feel like this today. This is what I'm going to do. I feel like that today. That's what I'm going to do. However she feel, well, I'm with this man now and religious with him. I'm going to break up with him and I'm going to get with a non-religious man because I feel like that now. But you would never, so that means you were never sincere about being religious. You know what I mean?
Yep. Like I said earlier, man, I personally, my personal beliefs that women are incapable of loyalty, integrity, all that stuff, unless it's forced upon them by society. which is not being forced upon today.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when it comes to modern women, right? They believe they can just, especially black women, they believe they can just do whatever possible. Nothing's nothing bad's gonna happen to them, and they're correct. Nothing's gonna happen to them. What do you say, Lion and McTowell?
I'm saying those days are numbered. You see what's going on in Brooklyn?
No. What happened in Brooklyn?
A lot of these same Klingon bitches who really believe that their shit don't stink, they're finding out real quick that those days are actually numbered. I mean, that whole defund the police thing really did them no favors up there in New York, especially Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, defund the police bullshit. Yeah, look how that fucking went. Especially in Portland, Seattle. What was it? I want to say Los Angeles, but mainly the Democratic states and cities. That's where that ACAB, all cops are bastards. Which, personally, a lot of them are, but majority, they're a necessary evil. At least in today's society, it's a necessary evil. Because there's no way a society of this magnitude, this big, 380 million now people in the United States? There's no way that there's going to be any type of self-governing. No way.
Not to
No way.
mention a lot of
Especially with modern women not having the protection of the government or the state. That's not plausible. Like, women don't think that far, but it's not plausible for a woman to advocate for that shit. Oh, get rid of the police, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, so who's going to stop that guy from chasing you down the street? Like, it's...
Well,
actually, in Brooklyn, there are cops that are basically refusing to answer domestic calls because, this whole shit. So they really messed themselves up.
Well, aren't they getting like assassinated? And like the cops are literally getting hunted down in certain cities. Literally hunted down by dudes. And getting ambushed.
Yeah, that's been happening in cities all across America. Absolutely.
Right. Black Wolf, you said you're gonna say something?
I was gonna say, yeah, I completely agree. Women act purely based off of like just in that moment thing,
How they
and that whole
feel.
how they feel in that moment. And it's really funny because they do things that are very counterproductive. They'll fall on their own sword, especially when men aren't around. And the only reason they're even afloat is because these Simpson guys keep helping them. I mean, I walk by when they're doing this shit, tip my hat and go, Stormtrooper, Stormtrooper. That's really the only thing you could really do because you have people dying to protect someone that can't even defend themselves. And a lot of people talk about self-governing. Me, I'm a minimalist. I've lived off the grid. Not exactly the easiest thing to do, but if you ask me, could the everyday modern person do that?
Nope.
I'd have to tell you, hell no.
Oh, I could do that
90
too easy. Well, I was trained to do that, but it's too easy for me. Honestly, I think I'm more at peace living the minimalistic lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a very peaceful lifestyle, and the thing I make jokes about all the time is women are always saying, like, "Oh, I could do that." Women especially can't do that. Feminine people can't do this because they're used to having things given to them, and not to mention, you're not going to see a bunch of female monks throughout history or them doing anything noteworthy because one, it's not in their nature, and two, I mean, women have been trying to lie about history for the longest time. Back in like the old west, or you go to any time period in the world, usually it would go here lies John the blacksmith and the blacksmith's wife. Does she have a name? Now we don't give a fuck about that.
Yep, a king can marry a female peasant and make her to a queen. A queen can marry a male peasant, and he'll be known as the queen's husband. That she can't upgrade, especially what the one rapper 21 Savage said. Literally, a rich man can go into some type of McDonald's or whatever, get a broke girl and change her life. But if a woman of that caliber, that's that rich as well, will not look at a broke man's erection. So, what tells you is hypergamy exists. All right, and I'm tired of men telling me that it doesn't exist. It
It
pisses
does.
me off.
But it does exist. Hypergamy floats, according to Paul Proteus. He made that
Right.
clear a couple of years back before he passed away.
And I'm like, if it didn't exist, why are you still single, bruh? Like, just think about it. If hypergamy didn't exist, you'd be able to get the baddest girl right now on the spot if nobody else picked her up first. Like just think that through, man. Like, of course, girls are not going to look down. Like, you took high school biology, bro. She's looking for the best possible mate. Science.
Well,
Sometimes, and sometimes even then that's hit or miss because, like, she can find a mate that, he has deep pockets, but the number one the number one deal breaker for her will be that he's too short.
Oh yeah,
well,
he's
keep
5'10". He's 5'10". He's too short.
He's 5'10". He's too short, but he's loaded. He's got money. He's accomplished, but he's too fucking short. It's stupid.
I don't find flaw with anything. I mean, I used to make this joke like many years ago. Used to piss people off. Like, a woman can grow up eating granola bars, and next thing you know, their whole life changes. And I'm like, damn it, man, who the hell gave her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? She'll never go back to granola now.
But Gray, what were you saying, Gray?
Well, it's kind of interesting because, like, from the more evolutionary standpoint, the women that are most successful in passing on their genes are the ones that picked the mates that gave their children the greatest chance at surviving. And that is either A, the men with the best genetics, or B, the men with the most resources. So
Yes.
that's where they go for the tall, like, because picking a mate is different from picking a husband. Because they will absolutely go with a dude who's broke if they think he has good genetics, really tall, really physically fit, all those good things.
Yeah, but you can be tall and thin.
Yeah, because I'm
built
like,
like a string bean,
I'm like back then, like, Chad, you need to understand, back then, that's why concubines existed. Okay, even today, concubines still exist. It's just not as prevalent. So when you see these Chad and Tyrones that hit the genetic lottery, able to have 2, 3, 4 women in the same bed, just saying, it happens since the dawn of time. You can't stop that. 100 years of this feminist bullshit will not change millions of years of evolution. And that's what society will crucify me for if I was on Twitter if I said that. Like, you cannot get rid of millions of years of evolution just because you hear screaming, "Oh, we're all equal. Oh, men and women." Shut the fuck up.
Hell, man,
We're not.
they'll crucify you just if you say that socially or even at work. I mean, shit happened to me many years ago. Damn boss took me in back when I used to work for other people. He's like, can I talk to you for a minute? What was that? Can I have you talk about self respect and doing for yourself? And he might as well have been telling me that. Like, yeah, stop inspiring people to
Oh,
not be full of crap.
so Black Ram. I don't know if Black Ram is gone or not.
No, I'm here.
Oh, so when it comes to people making black men specifically feminine, I know that trend started back in 2008, and I was in middle school at the time.
Actually, it started actually long
even
before
earlier.
that.
I was just speaking on en masse, like when it starts to, when society starts to push pretty hard for.
They do that. They did that. Yeah, they do that to us because we're the trendsetters.
Right. I know about the media when it comes to like Jamie Foxx that dressed up as a woman.
Yes, the pressures of culture.
Yeah, and Martin Lawrence dressed up as a woman. all these other famous black actors dressing up as women,
Mhm.
which is I have huge respect for Dave J. Chappelle, even though I heard that recently he dressed up as, I don't know if he did. Supposedly he did dress up as a woman, but according to my knowledge, he didn't. But I noticed in 2008, that's when the trend started to happen, to the point where when it hit 2015, you started seeing men with colorful hair, purses, skinny jeans,
Mhm.
the flamboyant attitude, and they
Mhm.
want to say that it's gangsta.
No, this
Mhm.
nah.
Like,
They
It's
change
garbage.
definitions.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and their arms are like twigs. Like,
Mhm.
like,
No,
are you
nobody's
really
going
gonna
to the
pull a
gym.
gun out of your purse, bro?
Exactly. Nobody's going to get exactly. That guy's built like a fucking string bean. You know, just
Would you say black rim? My bad.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these guys are not going to the gym. When I was young and thin like that, we stayed in the gym because we wanted to put on that bulk, put on that mask, and it wasn't for mask. I mean, and it wasn't to please women. It was to hold your own against other guys. But
Yeah.
that's a lost art because guys go directly for the gun, which is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, feminine because you should
Yeah.
be able to resolve some issues. I mean, they're killing each other over trivial matters.
Yeah. Today they're
Nobody wants
fighting.
I
to
think
They're fighting. They're fighting and down in the streets over peace leave. They're not doing it over
Mhm.
territory or drugs or anything like that. They're fighting over peace leave. And it's
And
fucking
that's
stupid.
I think
That's the
Stupid.
biggest thing that pisses me off in today's society, especially in the black community, and something that hasn't been resolved for decades, even before I was born. All right, how the fuck us as a community, more specifically black men, are fighting over property that we don't even own? Why are we killing each other over property that we don't even own? Like that's the biggest question that I
It's
have.
madness. It's madness. And I think the brothers, a lot of the brothers who got their shit together, got their IT certifications, got their CDLs, or learned an industrial trade. Even they started at some point. They sold it. They sold it and said, "You know what? I'm done with this shit. I don't want it. I'm leaving. I'm out."
Which is going to
Well,
go to my next topic, right?
I was
Which it may or may not be controversial, depending on what Susan says, where the fuck. Anyway, um, Black
actually,
Wall Street, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to buying power, I'm sure the African American community has one of the highest or the highest buying power in the United
It
States.
should have $1 trillion spending.
Yes, and all that money that we're accumulating, yet we are literally spending money on the stupidest shit. Not all of us,
You want to know, but you want to know who spends most of the money on luxury goods?
women.
It's just not black. It's not black men. It's black women.
Yeah, black women. Yeah. And what's it called? Especially when there is black-owned businesses, because I've been in black-owned businesses before.
Yeah.
I see
They're out
people
there.
try to get some type of
Yeah,
coupon or try to lower
Yeah,
the price.
coupon. Yeah, get a coupon or get the fucking hood hookup, and that shit gets really annoying. But you know what's really funny? That's not actually just distinct to black businesses and black community. It's actually it's the same thing with Arab businesses and Arab restaurants. Like Brother Black Mind spoke to me about a few months ago about how like there were black restaurant owners who would actually like hide when other like Arab people would come to the restaurant and try to come and ask them for free food. They would hate that shit. It gets on their nerves.
Right, I'm like, how else are they going to keep their business going, bruh? Not off of coupons.
Exactly. Man, can't offer coupons or offer somebody free food, man. I'm like, you're here to pay for the food, man. You can't give you free food here. We're not a charity.
But these
That's the
exact same people, more specifically, black women, are willing to pay full price for $1,000 weave, Louis Vuitton, Gucci.
That Birkin bag shit and all that. $8,000. Just
full price. They're not looking for no coupon. They're not looking for a coupon.
exactly. They want to pay full price and then like so you check out that receipt says. I'm like, man, why are you throwing away $8,000 for a fucking bag, man?
You
that's
didn't
the
even
thing
get your
with
car note paid.
Some
thing
say
with women. Women want to lowball everybody else. Will pay top price in the brands and like I just call it that rainbow
Exactly.
game bullshit.
it's stupid. It is stupid, man. I mean, that's what I've said. Like keeping up with the Joneses will keep you broke. There is no fucking reason why you should be spending $8,000 on a fucking bag.
Black community,
Damn.
especially black women, want to fucking say that, oh, our black men don't protect us or black men don't care about us.
Oh,
And when
please.
black men,
Oh, God.
but when black men try to open up their own businesses and stuff, you know, these very same black women and men are trying to hustle
Nick,
these black businesses that are just starting, literally just
trying to
starting.
nickel and dime this shit.
Yeah,
Anybody
they're
remember
making
that
dime this
restaurant
shit.
with the bitches twerking on the table and shit, and the guy had to go out there and like tell them
Bro,
like,
Yo, it was Houston. Yeah, that was
That's
Houston. Yeah, that pissed me off too, man. Like he told those Cleon bitch 3 times to stop twerking, and they kept fucking doing it.
they wouldn't do that at a white restaurant.
No, they wouldn't.
they
Black
would never
Ram.
do that anywhere.
Yo, I'm here.
You've seen, because I think it happened on 2 separate occasions of black women twerking on the dining room tables at a black-owned restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
What's your perspective on that one?
It's a show of this huge factor about black women, right? That no matter what, when, where, her best asset is her ass, right? And she wants to put that on display for the whole world to be. And basically what she's telling you about twerking everywhere, whether it's at a funeral. I've seen videos where women twerking at a funeral, on top of a casket, at a cemetery, on top of cars, in a restaurant, any place that's inappropriate, she's gonna twerk because she wants the whole world to know that all her value is in her ass, her fart box, what she shits out.
But
and she's saying, "Hey, I don't have anything else." Yeah, she said, I don't have anything else of value. Look at this ass. I've seen a video recently of a politician, female, twerking. And that's because it's not about being a politician. Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot who it was, but more than so she's not proud of being a politician. She's more proud of her posterior. So at the end of the day, no matter what education she has or what job title she has or what academic or career accomplishments, that doesn't supersede how she looks at her ass. Because they understand and believe that their ass is their value. And they're not wrong because they really don't have anything else of substance.
Yeah, but you can't trust people with the smile.
That's true. Just such a big button to smile.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig in though. I'm gonna dig in deeper. Mm-hmm. So why would she do this in a black-owned restaurant, not a white-owned? She's on her best behavior.
I can explain that one because I've seen that shit a lot growing up. Whenever it comes to a black-owned restaurant, it could be a black-owned business. There are many people, especially black women, who feel like that gives them a pass to act like a total fucking idiot. Because they know damn well they do that anywhere else that they get their ass kicked.
Yeah,
they know this.
And the same goes for certain black nightclubs, like the most grimiest, fucked up nightclubs with all the shooting and all the drama and shit. They go there. They don't go to the nice ones. They go specifically there because the drama, mayhem, and stupidity is what they enjoy. It's fucking it's stupid.
Yeah, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah. Especially ATL.
What'd you say, Black Ram?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They don't act up at that white establishment because they know that there's an order there that they can't go against. It's a little bit more stronger against public indecency and disturbing the peace. But they expect black men to be, I guess, submissive. They expect black men to be submissive. So when they walk in the room, they believe they're the ones that are superior. So they feel they can act the way they want to act. So they'll do that into a black establishment, but they're less likely to go into a white establishment and do the same thing. Because here's the thing about the BW. You really won't meet a BW who doesn't believe that she's superior to a black man. You just won't meet one. All of them that I've ran into in my whole life, they believe they're superior to a man.
So I got a couple more things then. So why are black women so upset? Which I'm sure you guys already know, but I want you guys.
Because they can't be white women.
Well, yeah, I want you guys to clarify.
Exactly. They can't, man.
Why are they so upset that black men are venturing out to other races of women?
Because they know that. Go first. Go first, and I'll go.
Okay. See, this is the thing with black women. She doesn't necessarily want you, but she doesn't want anybody else to want you either. In other words, she doesn't want you, but she doesn't want you to be happy. So she wants to see you miserable. Yep. Because let's be honest. At the end of the day, she hates you. She thinks she's superior, and she hates you. So she doesn't want to see you with someone else who you can be happy with. So I was talking to this chick that I used to smash, and she was saying, yeah, even though you go travel overseas for those women, they just want you for your money. And I said, okay, well, how is that different from any other black woman in the United States?
Yeah, it's
And
no different.
she couldn't exactly, she couldn't answer that. And
Exactly.
I told her the difference is, I said the difference is at least the Asian woman, the Latina, is nice about it. Because here's the thing, nothing is free for a man on the planet Earth. A man has to work for everything. Women and children, things are free for them. Yeah.
Mhm.
But for animals, things are free for them. I mean, the Most High even provide, plenty of resources for animals to eat freely. They don't have to go to work a job to eat. They may have to work to eat, but they don't have to work a job to eat. But for a man is the only thing in creation that has to work for every single thing he has, even the affection of a woman. That's just how the universe works. So
Right.
my point is that at least when you go to another country, she's gonna at least treat you like you're a man and have some type of respect for you.
Bro, when I went to South Korea, Japan, Thailand, Indonesia, and stuff, me as a black man, I was able to let down my guard for the first time in forever and actually have a good time surrounded by good feminine energy. I was
Yeah.
able to vibe. Like it was great, bro. It was, and I
Priceless.
barely had to put in effort per se. Like they were catering to me to make sure that I was good. I was like what you want? You trying to get my money? What you want? See, I was like that on guard at first because usually in the States when a woman uh is all goody goody to you, she has an ulterior motive when it comes to like
Mhm.
resources or something else. But over there, those women, they just want to have a good time. They literally and they make sure that you have a great time with them. You know, it's
Mhm.
it's something that, in my opinion, all black men, if it's possible, they need to experience. Not even just
Mhm.
Asian countries. Go to other countries as well, outside of the Western world.
I agree
There's a
because
list.
I remember that I did a video that pissed everyone off calling the hyena matriarch because that's really what it's like in the West, especially America. You got the women on the top, and then the children, then later at like way near the bottom of the list, you got the male with the broken fangs, pretty much busting his ass, and women at the top acting like they move like they want you to move heaven and earth just to even so much as be around them. And it's actually kind of funny when I traveled abroad. I remember going to Eastern Europe. It was such a wonderful freaking experience. You can open up a door, you can say good morning. I couldn't do that shit in America. You say good morning to a woman, they well, what you want? Goddamn, bitch, and let's
And
open up the
remember,
fucking door.
gentlemen, do you know how difficult it is for at least a black man to let his guard down, especially overseas?
I don't. But
That's
here's the thing. Yeah, I don't really let my guard down going pretty much anywhere. I mean,
well,
even
I'm not saying stop being like aware of the female nature, but what I'm saying is when it comes to dealing with the extremists, like the bad behaviors of women in the Western world, it's a complete opposite in non-Western countries. Like it's an experience that I could describe, but you need to experience it for yourself, Chad. Whenever you can, try to
Mhm.
go somewhere in the non-Western. I'm telling you, I miss till this day. Like I'm trying my best to go back overseas to have a good time because who knows? Maybe if I want a family in the future, maybe if I want some kids, it won't be here. I already made my vow. I will never ever settle down in the States. Black women and women in general in the States, they fuck that up.
Yeah, that's a
Oh
smart
yeah,
move.
that's a very smart move. I completely agree. I
Mhm.
wouldn't endorse any dude getting with an American woman. I mean, if you're gonna go down that route to try to settle down and start a family, go somewhere where there's actually some form of a value actually set. There are no values here. It's actually worse than the old west. It's nothing but a bunch of bitches running around, twerking on and getting haunted in cemeteries and shit. Just don't
Well,
even
Mhm.
bother with it.
do you know how much hate I got 3 years ago when I got that passport? Even from my
Oh,
own female family members.
Mhm.
I'm
oh, I
like,
can
I'm not
imagine.
even dating you. Why the fuck are you so upset?
The
I can
hive
tell you,
mind.
the
Why
female high mind.
you trying to take advantage of the poor women because you're gonna take advantage of the fact that they're gonna need your money to survive. So you're trying to use your money as a lever. I'm like, where the fuck are you even getting this from?
Because
How do
that's
you
what they
even know
would
I'm
do.
even trying to meet women over there?
Because that's what they would do. They're
That's what they
projecting.
would do.
They're projecting.
Exactly.
Exactly. Women project this shit. I mean, hell, I've even caught dudes calling other guys, "Oh, you're a passport perv." Some weird shit that they
Yeah.
talking.
Yes. 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 And you see how far that feminine mindset goes to shame a man for wanting to travel. And I've been, people have tried to shame me for the very same thing. Hey, you got your passport. That means you're a pervert, and it's about traveling for sexual stuff. And whoa, and I'm like, even if I was, so what?
Yeah.
You don't tell a man what he needs to do with his money and his bippy. Those two things you stay away from.
Yeah, if she's of age, what's it to you?
Exactly.
She's 18
Exactly.
or older. Who gives a
Hmm.
fuck what you think?
Exactly.
And that's what I hate
Exactly.
about modern culture. Like, a lot of these guys they don't even realize how feminine they are, going from 0 to 100. And I
Hmm.
used to make fun of the PUAs a lot. I really think PUAs are the most effeminate men I have ever encountered in my entire life because no man
Listen to you.
should ever care about another dude getting his stuff wet. I mean, that's his
You're right,
business, whether
Tibbs.
he does it or not.
No, and that's the
You're
Yep.
crazy
actually
part.
pretty
It
said if you really
was
think about it. But when you really think about it, the PUAs are abject pieces of shit because they allow the women to get laid.
yeah, fuck
Hmm.
them. They lie to women and men
And
for
Bob
it.
Wilson, Bob Wilson had them figured out a long time ago. He said when it comes to PUAs, they didn't fuck you; they fucked the facade that you fed them. They
Hmm.
allow the women to get laid.
Yeah,
Hmm.
don't listen to these women online or these men online that said, "Oh, you don't go overseas or you don't be get a perv. It's not good." Blah blah blah. Nah, fuck that. Go overseas. Okay, not only is dirt cheap. Okay, you can live like a fucking king if you save enough money.
Hmm.
Dealing with these women, man,
Not to
I'm
mention,
telling you, bro. Like
Trevor.
it, that was the culture shock for me. Not because I was black in a Korean fucking country. It was the fact that these women were beyond feminine, friendly. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I was like, oh shit. I
Yeah,
didn't have to yell or argue or nothing. Like
yeah,
we just
absolutely.
chilling.
that,
Yeah,
my
we,
friend, is called peace of mind. And the funny part about it is, even the women in these other countries, at least, make a conscious effort to take care of themselves. You go to Eastern
yeah,
Europe, you can meet a woman with red hair, gray eyes, freckles, skinny, or whatever the hell, and just you cannot even be trying to get with her. Just the conversation and the energy is a hell of a lot better. It's just a sigh of relief. You're able to let your guard down, not completely, but at the very least,
Hmm.
you're able to relax in that moment and
Yeah,
just enjoy the
Hmm.
damn moment.
yeah. That's what a lot of men, a lot of black men, when I came back, they didn't believe me. I'm like, yo, go over there, bro. Like, especially when we go out for food, the most I spent between me and her was $11, and it was a
Mm.
feast.
let me know.
Like
Wow.
it was 82-cent
Yeah,
beers
well,
over there.
yeah,
And this is in Korea.
Yes.
over here in the
Wow.
state, over in the states, they're coming up with bullshit where they're saying if he pays with a credit card, it's not a real date or some dumb
Yeah,
shit like that.
LOM.
Man,
I
that
saw
fucking
that.
yeah, that stupid shit. That makes no sense. I
Yeah.
mean, but it's a credit card. Why do you care?
Right. And
We
LOM.
wouldn't
These
do
are
it.
I've heard.
Say,
I heard the opposite LOM as well. And that when I heard that some women don't like when you pay cash because it's
wow,
not sophisticated enough. So
what?
on one
what
end,
the
women are mad if
hell?
you pay cash. Right. So on one end, she's mad if you pay cash. On the other end, she's mad if you pay with a credit card. Ain't no pleasing these women.
Why?
So
What the hell?
Money's
what difference
money.
does it make, right?
Money's money, man. What the fuck? Man?
Listen, women make up all kind of reasons because for them, this is black pill stuff. Men are so abundant that they make up all kind of reasons
And
to
it's
X you out of the equation.
yeah, it's stupid because women actually outnumber men here in Western civilization, but they pull this shit and they're finding more
Hmm.
doors being slammed in their face, man. And a lot of them don't
Right.
hence all the TikTok meltdowns right now. But yeah, it is what it is. But it's just come on, with the credit cards and cash, man. Money's
Hmm.
money.
What's the
I don't
difference?
get it. Man. That's what I'm saying. What the fuck is the difference?
Uh,
Damn, paper or
God,
plastic,
you
man.
guys give me
I
more of a
laugh.
reason why I need to go back overseas.
Yeah.
I laugh about this.
What
I do
the?
actually have an idea for the difference and the justification. Like if anyone's curious.
Wait. What do you mean for the credit card and money?
Credit card and cash. Yeah, I can think of like a legitimate reason why, or at least how they'd rationalize it.
All right,
Maybe.
I'm down to listen.
All right. So number one, if a man is paying with just a credit card and no cash, that can be a sign that he is in debt and living entirely on credit. Alternatively, if a man is paying in cash, that can be a sign that he has absolutely no credit score and can only pay in cash.
Man, don't worry about my finances, ho. That's all I'll tell you.
But that's exactly what they're judging you on.
Like, you're eating
They're
for
trying
free.
to establish
Shut the
how
fuck
much
up.
money, trying to figure out how much money you actually have.
Yeah, but they're the
Yeah.
ones who. Yeah, but they'll be the ones who are usually in credit card debt and shit like that, man. Like,
Yeah, college debt.
yeah,
So
student
much
loan debt
debt.
and all that. Yeah,
No, that's the thing. Like they're just trying to figure out whether or not you're going to spend a shit ton on them, or whether you're going to be a broke ass bum.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
why
well,
I
that's
don't
the
do the
thing.
dinner. I don't do the dinner dates anymore
yeah,
because
I'm
it-
done with this shit.
for some
No dinner
reason,
dates.
9 times out of 10, because the last time I did a dinner date was in 2017 as well, because I was still on the dating apps. I quit the dating apps in 2017 because it's a waste of time. It always turned into a job interview.
Oh God.
Always.
Damn, hate
How
them
much
there.
do you make? How much does that watch cost you have at your wrist?
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
car you drive? I'm like, I'm trying to enjoy my shrimp Alfredo, bitch.
Yeah. Or what they'll do is like you'll start off the conversation like on a different subject and they'll steer the conversation towards money. I'm like, God damn.
I don't like.
Steer-
I'm not asking how many dudes you fuck right now. Let's enjoy the food. Fuck. Like, seriously. See, this is what I'm talking about, gentlemen. And people in the chat. Overseas, I didn't have to deal with none of that. We just chilled and we literally had a great time. I've dealt with Koreans with broken English, and I had way more better time with them
Wow.
than the average
Yeah.
women back in the States.
Yeah, like I've
There's
never
some
like
people that just want to
yeah.
fucking endure themselves. I laugh because there's little job interviews and all that little crap. I had a chick ask me many years ago, how much money you make? I was like, I don't know. How much money you make on the street corner? I mean, shit. We're talking about shit that don't matter.
Yeah. Don't worry
I mean,
about my
hell.
fucking fight, bitch. We ain't married. Like we ain't living together. Like why are you so adamant on what I have in my bank account? How much you have in your bank account? Since we want to
Exactly.
talk about equality and shit.
Yeah, they get triggered if you ask them about what they got.
Are you gonna take care of me? Is this what's happening right now?
That's the crazy part.
man.
You know, you go overseas and some of these women, like, you don't even have to spend a lot. They're just happy just to be there. It's the funniest thing in the world. I mean, but it's a major culture shock. And so, wait, you just enjoying the moment. You actually paid attention to what I was saying for the past 10 minutes. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
American women don't even do that shit. They got like a low attention span. They really believe that there's a money tree out there in the woods somewhere. I'm gonna go.
it's because the
Yeah, exactly.
abundance of simps.
Yeah, or a pet wallet somewhere. But even those days are drawn to a close. That's what making sure it happens. Yeah.
But Lion and Midtown Black Ram, I got a few more questions for you. So we'll start with Lion and Midtown. So how do you feel about our today's men carrying around purses, skinny jeans, glittery clothes, sometimes even lip gloss? Like these so-called quote unquote masculine men, according to society, they're masculine. According.
These are the Gen Z men, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, they're for the most part that they're gone. I mean, I don't think they're not completely gone, but a lot of them are gone, and that's very unfortunate. You know, but I mean,
Okay.
maybe it can be turned around, but right now I don't really see it happening. But yeah, the lip gloss and the skin tight pants and all that dumb shit. No, I don't. Nah, stop me.
Well,
Nah, I
Black
don't.
Rim, do you have anything to say about that before I go to the hard-hitting questions? Because I'm about to.
Yeah, not really. Because I kind of touched on it before.
Okay.
Of course, it's just a whole agenda to break down manhood to, weaken society as a whole. Women don't really think, they follow, and the more you can get a woman to think like a man, the easier it is to control.
Pretty much. Yep. I agree 1,000,000%. So, Black Ram, we're going to start with you, man. Here's the hard-hitting question, which a lot of black people don't want to talk about. Can the black community still be saved in the United States?
Absolutely not.
No.
It's a foregone conclusion. The ignorance that we see, the matriarchal mindset that we see, the white supremacist mindset that black people have themselves, all of this is part of the culture now. It's too deeply rooted. Um, it's a cultural thing for us, a subcultural thing for us now. And it's one thing to have a social issue, but it's another thing to have a whole culture of failure. So I'll give you an example. All my life growing up, even as an adult, and even children that I see growing up, it's actually a bad thing to be able to speak properly, enunciate words. It's a bad thing to be educated. It's a bad thing to be smart. It's still not cool. It's not cool to save your money. It's not cool to invest. What's cool is buying clothes and brands that you can't afford. And all of this is a feminist mindset. So it ties right into the discussion that we're having about, the feminization of black men in society as a whole. Because this feminine mindset says, hey, instead of delaying my gratification, instead of saving and investing, I'm going to spend all that I have now on shoes. Now think about how black men are acting with shoes now. Shoes and clothes was never our thing. Even when I was growing up in the 90s, because I'm in my 40s, we may have wore a few outfits, but we were never crazy over shoes. You wouldn't see a guy with a gym shoe collection or a shoe collection or a shoe game because those things weren't important to us. That was a female thing.
Doesn't that shit weird anybody out? Like you go over your homie's house and all of a sudden that motherfucker has 40 shoes and you're like, dude, what the fuck?
It's weird.
He's got like a fleet of shoes. I'm like, what the? Yeah, damn.
Because at least back then, the priority was the suit, which a suit is way more important than a bunch of LeBrons.
Exactly. So we see this degeneration of our society, man, and I think it's so rooted in the culture, the music, the movies, everything that we enjoy and appreciate has to be steeped in nothing but ignorance. So I think the only solution is this: for those who can live outside of America, if you can, like you were saying, when you were outside the country, you could actually, let your proverbial hair down. I've heard that so many times. It's a series called Black in Japan that I look at. And in a lot of these Asian countries, black men can go there and not feel as threatened as they feel in America. No matter where I go in America, if it's a majority white, I get the looks. Now, you've been seeing black people all your life, white folk. So why, when I come in the room, you look at me like I'm a criminal? And I don't even dress like a thug. But I realize whether you're wearing a suit and tie or you wearing your pants sagging down, they still look at you as the same. And you don't feel that threat in other countries. When I was in Brazil, it was a rough place to be in Brazil, but I didn't feel a threat because of who I was as a black man. I didn't feel that there.
You didn't have to look over your shoulder.
Exactly. You don't feel targeted because of your gender and race like you do here. And when I walk in an establishment, because I live in a majority white neighborhood now, I get all of the dirty looks. I get all of the stares, and I'm like, it's 2022. It's 2022. I'm a black man. Yeah.
There's some history that goes along. I'm sorry. I was going to say that some history. My bad. I'm about to keep interrupting. You go first.
Who's hold up. Lion MGTOW, you go first, then Black Wolf.
You go first.
Yeah, I guess my situation was a little bit different. Like I don't get any of the stares or any shit like that. And plus, it's just the way I dress. They think I'm either a cop or a fucking bounty hunter, but I'm not. They don't really give me that.
All right, Black Wolf, what you trying to say?
I was gonna say there's a bit of a history that goes along with that. A lot of people get mad when it's pointed out, but if a person's black and they make like good money, there's a certain level of like you enter a funny new form of getting hated, at least in America. Like, how dare that uppity whatever have all that money? I bet he didn't get it. And even if you got it legitimately, still doesn't even fucking matter. You will get the look.
You probably stole your car.
Yeah, they have all these reasons. And the funny thing is, I've watched that Black in Japan thing too. It's actually kind of funny. Like you other places, you don't like really even feel that. The thing about in Japan, even when it came to the police, you feel more like you want to cooperate. Okay, you don't feel threatened when they ask you for your like information. Okay, here's my ID, here's my whatever. It's not like a whole. It's not as hostile. That hostile energy isn't there in the same way it would be in America. And I really believe America has a fucking race problem because they never addressed it. And other places,
Black Wolf, that's the crazy part. When Japan is the most xenophobic country in the world,
Yes, ethno state.
I still felt more safe over there than here.
I don't
That's
blame
the
you.
unfortunate part.
Or they're,
As
they're,
a
they're not a
black man.
third. They're not a third world country. They actually are technologically advanced. So yeah.
They could have easily been all crazy racist and stuff, but no. I
I see.
honestly felt pretty cool, pretty safe there. Yeah, there were a couple of
I
Asians
encourage.
that want to touch my hair, but that's about it.
Yeah, you get some of that here in the states too, like depending on where you are. Like, but yeah, I encourage brothers worth their salt to travel and go to like don't just go to Asia, go everywhere. You just see it for yourself, and you just the
See, do
places
you know
the
how to
places
work?
on that list. Yeah,
Do you want to know how to get rid of that thug look, that thug mentality, that thug
yeah,
stigma?
yes, yeah.
Wear a pair of glasses.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, I don't have a. This is funny because I don't have a ghetto mentality or a thug mentality because I grew up Huxtable. But yeah,
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to being in uh suburban areas or foreign places, just wear a pair of glasses.
hmm
That's all you need. All of a sudden, you're not dangerous anymore. That's how ridiculous this is. That's how ridiculous it is. Literally,
That's
just
a
wear a pair of
that's a good
glasses.
point. That's a good
Mhm.
point.
You
That's a
know,
great
Uh,
point.
you're a smart dude, and all of a sudden, you're not dangerous.
Mhm.
Just gave her some glasses with you and take them off. Oh my God, honey, he's trying to kill us. But oh shit, man, can I help you, sir?
When you're coming in for the cable, here, fix my cable. Oh lordy,
Yeah.
but
But
so
yeah, I
Black
gotta
Ram.
jump off of here, man, in a minute. You had something else to say? Go ahead.
Oh no, I wanted to say, if you want to uh, show your channel right quick, you want to give me your link, I'll be able to post it in the live stream today.
Yeah, I just tell you, it's just Black Ram 313. You just type that in, and that'll be go to my YouTube channel and check out some of the videos. And that's it, man. Appreciate you having me on. Heard of Lime of MGTOW. It's good and a pleasure to be up here with you
hmm
and everything. And a shout out to Black Wolf and Gray. Appreciate you fellas. And this won't be the last time I'm on here, man. I'm gonna have to get you guys on my side as well.
If I'm able to join on your end, man, hey, I'm available at any time, bro.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
All right,
Black Rum,
brothers.
I want to say mad respect for creating your own group. I really respect, and I'm trying to do something very similar. And
Hmm.
you really inspired me to go ahead with that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man. My thoughts are a little bit different than most of the manosphere, and I said, you know what, it's time for me to promote a different thought process. And yeah, and so
But
far, mhm.
before you leave Black Ram, that's what I encourage my followers to do as well. Okay, I tell them, don't just listen to me. Go to
Mhm.
as many channels as possible. Pick out what works for you or not, and
Mhm.
then go with the principles that aligns with you. You know, like you learn something
Mhm.
new about this, learn something new about that,
Mhm.
and then incorporate it into your. I'm not correct on 100% of things. No, nobody is, right?
Mhm.
Especially, I don't know how your life is. I don't know how you live your life, but were you able to, because knowledge is power. If you're able to research like crazy and then put everything, into a ball and then you just shove it into your head, who knows? Like what Black
Mhm.
Brim just did. He created his group. You can create your own group.
Mhm.
Like not philosophy. Some philosophies, not some. All philosophies are not 100% correct. Okay,
Mhm.
that's why you need to able to think for yourself, chat. That's the biggest thing.
hmm
Don't just blindly follow. You want to blindly because who knows? Who knows you will blindly follow somebody that will lead you to the slaughter.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
I just had to say that.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. But thanks for having me on, Yee. And like I said, this won't be the last time. And I definitely wouldn't mind getting all of you guys up here on my side. I plan on doing a few more live streams in the future than I usually have. I might have a little time off work. So yeah, looking forward to that. And
Let's go.
appreciate absolutely and appreciate Island Hermit for putting the link in the chat of my channel. Appreciate that, Island Hermit.
Yeah, he's working overtime. Gee, I didn't even ask him to do that. Thanks, Alan Hermit. We'll
Appreciate that.
definitely stay in contact, Black Ram. Too easy.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
All
Yeah,
right,
you too.
man.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace. Peace.
See, I believe that was a pretty good conversation.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lion and Big Top, for joining. Okay, I do have your information, your contact information, but I'm like, you know what? He just posted like 2 videos. I'm just gonna comment on his video.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll see it sometime today.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the black community, Gray, since are you black or no? I have to
No.
make sure.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Based on your perspective from the outside in, is the black community able to recover, or is it just out of our hands at this point?
Honestly, I see that the problems with the black community correspond directly to how much welfare they're receiving. So until that stops, you're kind of fucked.
Well, I agree, but you know how in the black community we have the highest percentage of single mothers, yet
Yeah. And most
we
of the
also
welfare. Yeah, most of the welfare goes to the mothers, not to any of us. You know, like the men don't get welfare. They don't get welfare.
Yep, we also have the highest percentage of black men not having any kids. So
Yeah,
if you
Then
put two together,
I'd say the best way, like for the black, that's the thing, the black community, I think is fucked. Black men can get themselves out of it, but they're not going to be able to bring the community with them.
no.
It's individuals on the individual. Yeah.
So Black Wolf, you already answered, right? You already answered the question, right? That I asked you about the black community.
Well, the black community's fucked, man. When people get mad when I say it, but it's true. I mean, any place that endorses single motherhood is always going to live in poverty. Single motherhood is never going to be some gateway link to any form of independence. They say they're independent. They're not. They're wholly dependent on the government. And as a woman said, men don't get welfare. It's actually kind of funny. I mean, people always trying to say like men this, men that. Women are the ones that get welfare. They are the ones
But
that
they
use
want to
every
blame
age
us
program.
black men, though. They want to blame that, black men are the cause for the community for collapsing. But I'm like, so once again,
Well,
we have the highest percentage of single mothers, yet we have the highest percentage of childless black fathers.
and
So
that's the thing.
you put 2 to 2 together,
The next time a
you
woman,
single mothers are messing around with a bunch of Pookie and Ray Rays, and yeah, you want to blame the rest of the black men out there
well,
for your
it's not
poor
just that.
choices.
What's funny thing about it is next time like a woman says that to you or anybody else, anybody watching this, remind them that they are the ones who are primarily raising the children. The children are reflecting their behavior. You can't reflect the behavior of somebody who's not in the home. So blaming women is actually that this is the fact. Is truth and it's a fact. It is their fault. Do not let them try to bogart that. That is 100% their fault because we're not raising
So
damn kids. They are.
one more question then, before I add the last 2 people here. This won't be a long live stream, not today. So do you agree that women are in charge of culture in their society
Well,
since the dawn of time? Like
You're supposed to transmit. Oh,
since the dawn of time, women are in charge of culture in society
you're supposed to transmit.
because they're the ones with the kids the most, right? Whether it's mothers, whether it's teachers, whether it's professors, whether it
I believe that women control the, I guess, the more social aspect of it because it's kind of like a village.
is in culture, social.
Well, yeah, I mean the more like the socializing element. The culture is a very vast thing, and I guess it depends on how you look at it. It could be
I'm just
hunter
saying
gatherer.
how men are out there doing their thing, producing and building and
But
maintaining society.
Okay,
Who's
I
gonna
look
be
at it
looking
this way.
after the kids?
That's the thing. Like I look at it from a hunter-gatherer thing. I'm bad at the It's the best example I can give for it. You know how you have a village? Like we as men, we can leave the village. We're comfortable living out in caves and mountains, everything. Women can't do that. They'll die. And so when these villages were made, it was made kind of like as a kind of like a box in a way, metaphorically, to protect, air quote, that which was ours or whatever we wanted to,
Yeah,
protect over there. Women
elderly,
can
women, and children.
Yeah, elderly women and children. And when women are over there and we're gone, they're the ones that make up these little stupid rules, and we come back, oh, okay, this is the new rules now, because we leave the village. Women can never Women can never leave the metaphorical stable because they really will die, either physically or in some other kind of way. They can't handle it. And so villages, kingdoms and stuff, that was more so for women than it ever was for us. We didn't build that to protect ourselves. We were already capable of protecting ourselves. They can't. And
Uh,
so this is why they act that way.
yep. We will get back to that in a bit. Genzu, Genozu, Gen
Uh, yeah,
Lion and
genocide.
MGTOW. Did you join our group before? We need to confirm.
Yes, I'm still there
Did you?
actually.
So you actually did join the new server.
Yes, I actually put a trailer to
Oh,
a game like a game trailer like towards like for a game trailer in the game.
Are you friends with Cesspool?
Successful.
Cesspool Endeavors.
I'm actually there right there. Hold on. If you look at the gaming
I got you.
channel, yeah.
Right now. I'm in gaming. Give me a second.
that,
Yeah.
that was the
Yep,
link.
he's there. He's right
Yes,
there, and he's
I'm right
in
there.
the gaming channel.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's there.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
All right. I'm an animator in the UCW, and we'd like to hook you up with our resources so you can get started on your animation sooner.
Oh yeah, what are you talking about? Animations, Lion and MGTOW?
Yes, cartoons, animations, comics, mangas, um, anything regarding projects for Red Pill Entertainment. I'm an
Yeah.
advocate for it. Yeah.
All right,
So-
we can give you resources for free. I'm sorry, gentlemen, I couldn't stay long. Also, please accept Manic's friend request on Discord, LOM. Once again, I apologize. Farewell.
Hold on a second.
Manic the Manic Mechanic, if you know who he is. All right, so Black Wolf, when it comes to women not leaving the tribe, they have to stay at home and stuff, right? So from birth until they become young children, or they hit the puberty stage, such as like 13, 14, women primarily have gigantic influence on their lives, right?
Exactly, especially mothers. I mean, think of it like an alarm bell. Every time, like you ever hear the story of the boy who cried wolf? Same,
Oh,
that actually applies more so to women. Every
yeah.
time, they like get uncomfortable or scream or anything, the entire village rushes to their aid or comes to an uproar. Ordinarily, if that was done to protect the village, most people wouldn't complain. But now we live in this overdrive thing where they're doing this all the time. Now people are so tired of running up that hill that they don't care whether anything's happening anymore. You can't really blame them. I've always held the personal belief that if honestly, if I had a kid, I would let them stay with the mother for maybe about 9, 10 years, and then they're gonna have to spend a couple of years far away from the mother because it'll mess them up. Especially for a young boy, that will definitely mess them up. They
Well,
will
that's the
develop
biggest
those.
thing for American society compared to other societies. We have no trials for boys becoming men. We have none of that. The closest I'll say is 21 years old when you're able to drink. That's it.
Yeah, we took out the rite of passage. Complete. Or rather, women
All right, I
did
said
that.
wrong. Right of passage.
Yeah, no worries, man. Women eliminated the rite of passage, and people used to get mad in the past. men need, we need male groups. It didn't even have to be like MGTOW or whatever. We need male groups because that helps us, sort out what needs to be sorted out. Women complained that they couldn't have any influence in it, which they shouldn't. And then if it isn't them, you have the effeminate men running in there trying to redecorate everything. And this causes major problems. A boy cannot grow up to be a man when he's around people
His
that
mother, yes.
around his mother
Yeah,
and
or
people
women,
that want to
yeah.
hide in the cave.
Or,
Can't
well,
hide in
yeah,
the cave real
yeah,
life.
exactly. You can't become a man if he's around like women 50-80% of his of the time. You gotta yeah.
Well, do you, Lion and MGTOW, how do you feel about the rite of passage for young boys becoming men? How do you feel about that? Like a trial. Would you be for that, depending on what the child is?
I mean, I'll be for that, like within reason. But if it's something like just off the wall, fucking stupid, then
No, not like
yeah,
fighting off a black bear or something.
you're
No, no,
not
no.
fight over a black bear or just going, or you go swimming naked in a fucking cold ass river and end up getting sick and dying and something
What
like that.
about go camping?
Camping's fine.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, camping's fine.
Yeah,
If you're living off the fat of the land,
not
you go
that
for
far
about a week or
either.
two.
Like it's like
Yeah, you don't gotta go that far in the woods.
you can even see the tent like that far away. You know, the tent is still within
Yeah, or
visible
hunting trips,
sight.
or hunting trips. Yeah, that's good too.
Or
Yes,
hunting trips. Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah.
And that young man needs to do it for at least 2 to 3 days, and that's just me being easy.
Mhm.
2 or 3 days,
Hell, when
and
I was
he's
growing up,
prepared with the food, the water,
Mhm.
the equipment,
Yeah, the hands-on experience. Yes.
and he has to bring back game.
Mhm.
and hell, I remember growing up. My dad taught me everything one day on how to like be in the woods, and then like dude just left me there, and then it took me a while to come back. He wanted to see that I make it on the way back home. I mean, that was kind of harsh, but I learned a
Damn.
lot. Yeah, my dad was he's a Vietnam veteran, so he really did not hold back when it came to me. I learned a lot that night. Like, don't sleep in the bushes.
But
That's really important.
that's what this weak society can't comprehend. Men need, I repeat, need adversity in their lives. That's how we survive. We need to have a taste.
You learn, adjust, and adapt. Yeah.
And there's no
Yes.
longer a struggle and nothing really to thrive for. And then what happens is people become stagnant, man. I mean,
Yeah.
the closest we're ever gonna get to that again is just me walking up to a kid and go, "Hey, give her your money." No, I taught you well, young Padawan.
And that's
Just walk away.
and men becoming stagnant, that's how you become weak. We need that touch adversity and danger.
Our hands.
That's
Yeah.
how we get better as men.
Yes,
And that's the
machinery of
thing,
state. Yeah, and it doesn't help that a lot of that is because the machinery of the state approves of that. Like if you're stagnant, then that means you're not going to lift a hand when the machinery of the state tries to fuck you over. But in a way, it's strategic. It was premeditated.
Hey, you know what, Lion and
Yep.
MGTOW, Black Wolf and Gray, this would be a topic for me to talk about tomorrow at noon before I head off to my parents' place. The rite of passage for men. I'm definitely gonna bring. That's gonna be the topic for tomorrow. Honestly, I think now that I'm thinking about it, it is a very important topic to talk about. Gray,
Hmm.
how do you feel about a rite of passage for men that it should return? In
Well,
Western
absolutely.
society?
But like as I think we've mentioned on streams before, like you need a father in the household to initiate that rite of passage.
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
I could-
Father, or if things go left and he's not here, the grandfather should do it in his place.
Some sort
You
of
know.
male paternal figure needs to be the one to do it.
Yeah,
And
but we know
Exactly.
how modern women are. Don't do that to my baby.
he ain't
it's
your
that
baby no
over.
more. He's a man now.
But it's that damn overprotection. And one of the things my dad used to do to me, and I used to hate this shit. He would drag me out there to listen to the stories of him and older men. I didn't know whether the stories were exaggeration or bullshit at the campfire, but when I got older, those same stories that I listened to 1,000 times over and over again started to help me in my adult life because they were telling stories about their life or hunting trips. And I really believe that a lot of these young boys, they really need to be dragged out of their fucking house and forced to hang out with men because the thing about it is, whether you like the men around you or hate the men around you, it mentally teaches you how to go through life. Like it tells you how to take a diss, it
Yep.
tells you how to respond to people. You do not learn that when you're around women. You just become a woman when you're around. You become a pseudo
Exactly.
fucking woman when you hang out with women.
Exactly. You walk on eggshells. Nothing gets done. It sucks.
I'm going to add 2 more people.
Mhm.
Okay, give me a second. Carry on and Island Hermit, what's going on?
Yo,
good.
great stream so far, guys.
Hold up, Island
So-
Hermit. Hold up. Carry on. We'll get to you in a bit. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna get Island Hermit's opinion first on this. What is your perspective on bringing back rites of passage for men?
Yeah, rite of passage is extremely important. Actually, Elliot Halls talks about this all the time. There was a reason where young men were taken away from the world of the mother and put into the world of the father. Like Spartans, they were taken away from their mothers at 7 and were thrown in the world of the father, and they had to complete, they had to be trained, they had to kill the beast and basically prove they're men, and we don't have that anymore, and it's fucking people up. I'm not saying you should go out and kill the grizzly bear or whatever, but you should have to do some sort of hard, difficult thing to make you a man, and we're not doing that today. We're fucking watering boys down, turning them soft.
I think the Apaches, even the Apaches, did it at some point. They go off with a break off. Like a camp of men would go and hunt a buffalo.
Some countries are still going hardcore. I was watching a documentary a couple months ago where these African boys were taken from their mothers. Like they would pretend to go in, like they pretend like they're a warring tribe. They would kidnap the boys, not really, but it was all like an act. And they had to do a difficult task. And then when they came back, they had to get because they worshipped the crocodile or something, and they had to get 1,000 cuts on their back to mimic the crocodiles.
I think there's a tribe in Fiji. Wait, tribe.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
some tribe that does that. I think there's a tribe that does that. Yeah.
But we don't have to go that far with it, because in my opinion, that's fucking crazy. But we should be doing something.
Personally, I like I said before, we should have young men, which 15, and that's late, but 15, 16, have them go out camping for 2 or 3 days, and they don't have to be far away. They can literally be if there's a forest near the house, they can literally just be. I can see their tent from my house.
Yeah, camp near a water source, or yeah.
Exactly, and they're not allowed to come back until they bring me some type of game.
Well, I know some groups, I think it's Indian or Native American groups, they'll have a stone circle, and you have to be in the circle for 3 days with no food. And I think you have to take some sort of hallucinogenic drug, and you go off into the woods, and then you come back, and that's what they do.
But that's what a lot of mothers don't understand. That's why how we have countless weak men in our society today. They never put their sons through actual hardship. Fathers, I know my dad put me through hardship. Even some of
the parents, if you grew up on a ranch or a farm, you were able to know adversity or hardship, especially when the weather was fucked up. But yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, my dad put me through hardship. Okay.
Yep.
I'm saying he didn't do anything crazy, but I'm saying he's all right, do this, all right, do that, all right, do this. And at times I literally had to figure it out by myself. At times I will have to go do things that will say, hey, responsibility. Hey, even though that I gave him a difficult task, he overcame that. type shit.
Wi-
You
Without
guys get what I'm saying?
adversity, yeah,
Yeah.
without adversity, we cannot grow. And women don't face any true adversity, and this is why they have that. Oh, that they're more concerned with the words than action, and men were the opposite. And even if it doesn't even necessarily have to be a physical exercise, we don't have to go extreme with it. I noticed that especially with Gen Z or just young men, they can't even take a fucking joke. You say some shit to them, they're up in your face, getting all butt hurt and everything. And when I was growing up, I'm glad that I hung around men that I fucking hated. I still don't like half the motherfuckers, but here's the thing about it is it teaches you it's a mental exercise that teaches you how to handle, like how to deal with people you like and deal with people you don't like. You learn what you like, learn what you don't like, and you learn how to respond logically to it. You learn how to, even if you know you're going to get in a fist fight with someone, at least it's known for the most part. You learn what your barriers, you learn what your lines is. We as men, we have lines. We have like, okay, don't cross this damn line. And if you don't know where you stand, it's one thing when other people don't know where you stand, but when you do not know where you stand, that's pretty damn bad. That's scary.
I agree, man. I agree, and a lot of
One
people can't comprehend that there's reasons why fathers put their sons through these type of situations because, once again, biology is calling.
one good
The father is getting weaker. Okay, the older he gets, the weaker he will be. It is what it is. Father time ain't fair. So he knows that, man, I probably won't be here much longer. And just in case something happens to me, I will need to have somebody to take my place as the male leader of the family. And I'd rather
Exactly.
that to be my son.
And that's the way it should be. One of the things that, like, one of my biggest pet peeves, I've heard this from a lot of people, especially Americans and shit, like, oh, you don't become a man until you're 40. You don't become a man until you're 50. No, hell,
Yeah,
you become a man as soon as you're able to fucking walk. That's
yeah,
the way I see it because my whole thing is I got bad knees. I've been farming for a long time. If I had a kid, I would just straight up tell him, you know what, someday I'm gonna die. I mean, I'm like the older we as men get, testosterone goes down. As an old man, you are a soft target. And if anything happens to you, your kid's just going to be left in limbo. So teach them everything. Like for me, if I had a kid, as soon as he was able to walk, he'd know how to use a gun. He'd know how to do his laundry. He would know how to do all of these things. But by the time he was 10 or 13, whether I get taken out by whatever, I know that he's going to be okay.
Yep,
But we don't
like
have
what
that
my
kind of.
dad
yep.
said. You know, like what my dad said before. I can't protect you all the time either. You know, not only that, who knows if I'm gonna die someday? Hell, I might die later on today. But on top of that, I can't protect you wherever you go. You know, and I love how fathers have that conversation with their sons and not their daughters. That's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. 'Cause
But yeah, I want to say I agree with Black Wolf. As soon as I was old enough, my dad had me doing things. He like pulling weeds, doing yard work. He used to own a bar. He had me carrying heavy boxes. He had me doing all kinds of shit. And yeah, don't get me wrong, at the time I fucking hated it, but now I understand why he did those things.
Yeah, because once again, like my dad, like my dad said since I was like 9 or 10. Like he's been saying it all my life. If something happens to me, you're on your own. You like it is what it is. Yeah, your mother's here, but in reality, you will be on your own. You can't expect to rely on your mother. Like he's like, don't bother, because that's not her position. That's not her job as a woman to take that masculine role. All right, you need to take charge of the family. If something happens to me, you need to be able to make sure that things are running smooth, running good before you head off to college or military, wherever you want to do. All right. Yeah, your mother can take care of herself, but you that's why I understand why my dad he literally he shows emotion when the time is right. But for the most part, He's a hard hitter. Like he keeps it real. Like, hey, you know, you got to a fight. Did you win? Who threw the first punch? Or you don't know how to cook? You don't know how to use a grill? You don't know how to use a lawnmower? You don't know how to use this? You don't know how to fix a pipe? You don't know how to build a patio? You don't know how to build a dresser? I'm gonna teach you all that right now. And like I'm glad that I was raised by my father as well, because I guarantee you, the people that were raised by their single mothers, they have the fraction of the knowledge that I have right now. Fraction. I'll be able to survive a lot longer out here than the men that were raised by the single. What the fuck are the single mothers going to teach them?
Absolutely nothing.
How to get
Nothing.
loud, angry, and how to get loud, emotional, angry, and stupid, and get killed for the most part.
Yep.
Because one of the worst parts is being around a group of men. And fuck, I've had this shit happen to me like a few years back. Some dudes going around going, "When did you become a man?" "Oh, I became a man at 20. Another person, "Oh, I became a man at 40. They're like, "Well, would you become a man?" I don't know. When my fucking heart started beating, I was working.
I got the XY chromosomes. What you mean?
See,
Exactly.
that's why I'm so glad when my mom decided to break up the family when I was 13 that my dad took me and my brother, and my mom basically abandoned me. Like, I still don't talk to her, but I'm so glad I was raised by my dad and not my mom. I'd probably be so fucked up. Like, yeah, I went through some shit, but like, I think it would be far worse if I was raised by my mom. Like, my mom is fucking crazy, dude.
I still remember when I had my first shot with my dad when I was 15, almost 16. Because he saw me, he didn't see me as a little boy anymore at that point. It was a proud moment. Like, I was able to take a shot with my dad.
That's what's up, dude. Oh yeah,
You know.
another good thing I think for rite of passage for men, like going through like a military boot camp. Like, I think all boys at like 16 should have to do something like that. Because you've been to the military, Yeetus. What do you think? Like that I think that's like pretty close of rite of passage as we have today.
Yes, I despise all that running, but I have seen plenty of men, their whole demeanor, their whole, like, who they were, changed dramatically throughout the boot camp, throughout the basic training. They changed. They did a complete 180, and a lot of, believe it or not, chat, I have seen, a few young men shedding tears when they accomplish that boot camp, because for a lot of them, it's the first time in their lives that they had to go through adversity. Not only any adversity, but boot camp, basic training. Less than 1% of the U.S. military are military. Just think on that. Think on that. And these select group of people, especially the young men, I'm talking about 17, 18, 19 years old. First time in their lives, they had something that difficult put on their hands. And somehow, some way, they were able to make it through. Men have that sense of pride when it comes to hard work, overcoming obstacles. Women do not have that same outlook. Okay. Men, we have the utmost pride becoming successful.
Something's kind of funny, like that never left us. Even with like the guys who stay in like side, let's say like with video games, like somebody beats a level or they play a fighting game or something, they're like, "Yeah, I fucking won." That is in us to be that way. We are naturally that way, no matter where we go, no matter what we do. And with women just want to be given something. But when we as men feel like we accomplished something, it doesn't even matter whether there be like so much like money or whatever involved. We're happy because we own that. That's ours. And nobody can ever take that away from us. And
Yep, we're able to carry the accolade. You know, especially with video games. Video games until recently was dominated by men. Okay,
Yes,
Well, it
because
for the
still
most part.
men,
mostly is.
For the
Your
most
brain
part,
does.
I mean, for
Yeah,
the most
it
part,
does.
it's still, like for the most part, it still is. But you got a few here, like a few pockets here and there where you got women playing video games. But for the most part, it still is.
Yeah,
playing
but
games
when
or
they
showing
say that,
ads.
yeah, it depends. Because I do gaming and like animation when I was in college, so I know like the studies and like the stats. They say it's around 50%, but most of the games
That's
that women
bullshit.
play.
Wait,
No,
are you
but
talking
the
about
reason why
Candy
they say it's
Crush?
around 50% is not because most
Candy
people when they say
Crush?
games,
Candy
they're
Crush?
talking about yeah.
Candy Crush is considered being a
Oh yeah,
gamer
yeah.
for some fucking
Candy
reason.
Crush, puzzle games, like most phone games will be general. That's what they class.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
catered to women.
yeah, that would also be mostly women. After when it comes to like sports, fighting, maybe like puzzle games, it has men too. But like enough, like most games that people generally call games will be mostly men.
Yeah, and once again, like even before men were getting paid money as a sport, right? Esports or whatever. Even way before that, men, we played a game just so that not only
Bragging
for
rights.
the plot, right? Because plot is, in my opinion, plot is a big thing for many male gamers. Okay, it's video games, in my opinion, is a visual book. I learned more from video games than I did in my last 2 years of high school.
Well, high school's not really meant to teach you shit half the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That that highlights how trash the education system is. But regardless, women didn't give a fuck about video games until they realized they can make a shit ton of money just by showing a little thong or a little cleavage.
Yep.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are that select few of women that are legit gamers. Okay, there's some good female gamers out there. But the majority of females in this industry, they're just showing skin, and they know it. They know there's some desperate simp out there that's able to throw that cash in her face.
Well, that would be for most hobbies. There's not a lot of women that are truly interested in hobbies.
No, that's what I
Uh,
said. There's a
exactly.
very select few of women that are
The only
legit
reason.
Dude,
gamers. Okay,
women are like
That-
parrots. They mimic shit. I mean, like, could you imagine if men did this
but
shit? I'm
but
playing
but
Tekken.
but you guys acknowledge that, right? There's a select few women that actually can play video games.
yeah,
Yeah, there are a few here and there, like but
Yeah,
also
very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
small, but
Yeah, there's a
they're
few
out there.
autistic lesbians that are good at it.
Alan Herman ain't even like that. Okay,
You
let's not go
notice
that
most,
far.
you
But,
notice
hey, the
most of them ain't
autism thing is
attractive.
probably more likely.
Yeah, I mean, the
Well,
ones who
I'm
aren't
just
attractive
saying,
and then you can't
you
pull.
can't say that you've never played with a woman that's legit good at it. I don't know how much you play video games with you, Rihanna.
I
But
I'm not really
played
much of a gamer, so I'm
that
more of a
makes sense.
gym rat.
I played a
That,
lot in
yeah,
high
and that's what
school,
I'm
and
saying. Black Wolf, I'm sure you met at least one female gamer that was
I
actually good at the game.
the thing
Like,
is,
all
these
right,
female
let's go.
gamers, this
We're,
needs to
we're
be called out. A lot of them were not that attractive, or they were basic bitches. And then I remember making this joke a long time ago. Could you imagine I'm playing Tekken, and all of a sudden I just flash a nipple? Could you imagine men did this? Well, here's my nipple. Here's me getting my ass kicked in Tekken.
but
We don't.
my point still stands though.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, I agree. I'm just saying in general. Usually, when women are passionate about something, it
right.
usually something else suffers, and I found this to be kind of funny. The best gamer girls that I've ever encountered are not that
You guys
attractive.
need to understand, chat, because I'm seeing you guys. You need to understand. There's always an exception to the rule. That small minority. That's what I'm talking about. The minority.
Yeah, the outlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's funny though, because when TFM talks to the minority, he always calls them autistic lesbians, so that's why I said that.
Oh, I'm not even surprised then.
I
But
think there's
in the
high
end,
chance of that
I've had
happening.
played with women that are legit fucking good at the video game. All right.
Yeah,
But yeah, this
I
all
say
kind of
2
reminds me
times,
of
3 times. Like literally, Call of Duty 2. It was Modern Warfare 2. There was actually this one woman, like she was legit. I don't know if she was ugly or not. I never seen her, but she was legit at the game. But I do also agree, majority of the women, they don't even give a fuck about the game, especially these Switch bitches where they play I want to say multiplayer, story based game, right? RPG, and they don't even pay attention to the dialogue whatsoever. They just
Man, that's
constantly
not-
look at the fucking
Yeah,
chat.
I'm
that's
gonna
kind of
disagree. I don't call Sony games RPG. They're just playthrough movies.
pretty
What?
much.
Well, okay, same thing. I'm talking about the dialogue, paying attention to the story. Okay,
Women,
these bitches don't give a fuck about the story. I'm talking about the majority of bitches that's playing these story-based games. They just look at the chat the entire fucking time
bro, because
and skip the whole fucking dialogue. Like, bitch,
there's a
why do you even play? Oh, so you're that trendsetter. You're just playing this game so you can make a quick buck. Okay,
hey, bro,
Well,
I
yeah, they
see what you're
understand
doing.
they can
anyone
show their
here,
tatas, and then they can. The simps will give them money.
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same.
That's
It's the
literally the
same as when
majority.
those people, those women, like any guy ever go to like the anime con or comic con. I remember women hated
Yeah.
that shit. They weren't into that. They called every guy like loser. And then when it started to make money or attention, you have women that'll dress up
Yep.
in some sexy anime character. She'll go there,
Yep.
and all these guys are looking at her. And then when someone like goes over and compliments them, they act like they're all offended and shit. Like, bitch, you chose to wear that fucking outfit.
Man,
Yeah, it's
that
true.
that
why they
kiddie
do it.
pool in their room with a thong bikini. I'm like, I thought Twitch was about video games. Why can I see your puniti?
That's all they got
The
going
funny thing
for 'em,
is,
man.
my dad is actually in charge of like a Comic-Con thing, so I've been going for years. And like the women will dress up like slutty versions of these characters, but like they know nothing about them. They're just using it as an excuse to dress like whores.
Yeah, they're
Pretty
phonies,
much.
man. Yeah, they're phonies.
They don't even know about the fucking game they're cosplaying as. This is the
Yeah,
funniest
because
thing
I'll
in the world.
ask them and they have no clue. It's just like they dress like a slutty version of that character.
Tell me
Right.
more about how Goku used the Rasengan.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you supposed to be? The blue
Another
one?
thing this all kind of reminded me of too is in Star Wars, you had Luke had to earn his power, and then they just gave it to Rey. That's why everybody fucking hates Rey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that pissed me off when
Yeah.
somehow she just became equivalent to a Jedi Knight with little to no fucking training.
Jedi
She was
nothing.
doing
Master.
She was doing
Yeah, you
advanced
see how much
Jedi
training
mind
Luke
tricks and
had to
shit.
go through?
Even
He lost
Anakin,
a
who was
hand.
technically Space Jesus, had
Oh,
no training.
Anakin, he was born literally from the Force. So.
Yeah, but he did training.
Yes.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
did do training as well. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he was
mean-
basically Space Jesus. He needed training, and then fucking Rey just born with a set of titties, and she's like doing Jedi mind tricks and shit. It's like, bitch, who showed you that?
So I say the worst nerf I've ever seen in any movie in Hollywood is Luke Skywalker. His
Oh, hell yeah.
old age.
Yeah, they
Luke
nerfed the hell out.
Skywalker.
They nerfed the hell out of them.
He's supposed to be the most powerful Jedi to have ever lived. Ever lived. Yet
Yeah,
he does a few force moves and he dies. What?
he
Yeah,
gets
that
a
was
stroke
whack.
and but what was it again? I believe that when you
Alrighty.
guys were talking about trials that people should go through, I believe there should be just more than one trial for different aspects of a person, like emotional trials, physical trials, and logical trials, like to test someone. Because
How
you
would
could
that
test
work?
someone if they can remember shit and they can do that again, like send them into the woods and if they have training, they can do that over and over again 100 times. But if you put them in front of a woman, how are they going to act? If she is like trying to persuade them, are you going to test that? Because if they can't control themselves, they're still just a child in
Well,
the sense.
as
Well,
a young man, I doubt he would.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
yeah, but you should
at
still try and
16,
test
you
them.
should have to go through boot camp. 16, 90 days of boot camp, mandatory for every young man.
I think it
Yeah,
should
but
be
when it comes
mandatory.
to a young woman, like what Carrion said, I don't think that'll work, bro.
Well,
No,
I
I
don't
didn't
think
say
women
just
Well,
have
here's
women.
the
ever
thing.
women have never had rites of passages. It was
Like,
always
no,
the
no.
men.
Well, no.
I never said
He's saying have the man has
That
some
comes.
discipline, his D discipline with a woman, but it's like putting a pit bull in a butcher shop.
Well, that comes with experience. I mean, a lot of us were in our teens and everything, horny as fuck, young,
There's
dumb,
no
full of
way I'm
cum and
gonna
all
have
stuff.
discipline at that age.
Well, yeah,
I
exactly.
guess
That's what I'm saying. It comes
you
with.
can have discipline. Maybe it's just the environment I was raised in. It was like really disciplined from like a really young age. But like I say,
And
like
especially if I survive the trial, man, I ain't gonna have no fucking
I
fuck
think
that.
I think there's something like for a lot of us older guys, it's like we've had that experience. We've learned from, and yeah, you're right. It's very hard for a young man to have that kind of discipline. I mean, it's hard to instill that because
Especially if
women.
that's his first time. Shit.
Oh, oh
He's
yeah,
just
that
gonna react purely on instincts. He doesn't know what
it's
to do.
it's the hedonism
Well,
and this is taught by the Ganocentric culture as well as me. Yeah, that's why I said they're using our biology against
Oh,
us, and it's actually kind of
I was just saying in general, even back then.
yeah. Even back then,
When
it was
he
a problem.
sees a woman approaching him during his trials,
well, it doesn't have to be all at once. Certain trials could be depending on their age.
Well,
The
yeah.
girl, like you're not going to put.
isn't there a set age for everybody?
Well, I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
it
it's
kind
going to
of
be a set
depends.
age for everyone, but not every trial is going to
I
happen
mean,
at
you shouldn't have
once.
to. I mean, yeah.
Oh, not every trial. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna bounce right quick, but yeah, every I think at some point every young man or man in general has to have their season of trials and tribulations. That's pretty much what shapes them, and that's how they grow stronger. I mean, it is what it is, you know. But yeah.
Right. I agree.
But yeah.
I agree. It's something that I believe as a man, especially as a black man, we definitely need to bring the trials back because look how weak the younger generation is. Look how weak they look.
Yeah,
You can
Gen Z is gone, man. They're gone.
Oh, I'm part of Gen
look at
Z.
their arms. Look at the average man arm, like out there. The Gen Z. Look at their frame. It's like Holocaust stuff. It is insane, bro.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
say from
they're
my
either
experience.
toothpicks or they're extremely overweight.
Yeah, it's one extreme to another. Yeah.
Yeah, I had like since I'm born 2000, so I'm part of Gen Z by default. So I have a lot of experience with like those type of people, and they're really susceptible to anything. If you have violence, they get afraid. You don't even have to be physically violent. Just like buff yourself up, like how to say it, like puff your feathers up like some birds do. They will sit down most of the time because they don't really know what to do if someone's actually telling them in a straight and no give a fuck manner what to do because they're not used to people actually telling one what to do half the time.
Well,
And that's the thing. That's the lack of discipline. They can't even. I've had kids get pit like young guys get fucking pissed off at me just at the mere act of telling them they're fucking up. I mean, you're trying to show somebody how to do something, and they're acting like they're doing you a favor. Like you should be honored to be in their fucking presence, and then you have to say, "Hey, sit down and shut the fuck up."
but give me a second. Just some random guy.
Yo, what's up, guys?
So what is this? The Unga Booga Strong? This one? What you mean by that?
I know. Just
What?
it was about the Star Wars talking in the biology of man. It's just a joke, not nothing serious.
So what do you have to say about the topic today?
Man, I mean, that Roberto guy actually, I disagree with antinatalism because it comes from a perspective that birth is a bad thing, you know. But from what I know,
Wait, that what's a bad thing?
antinatalism.
Internationalism?
No, anti-natalism.
Anti-natalism.
Natalism.
Natalism.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because birthing a child is actually women's responsibility. The moment that leaves our bodies, it becomes her responsibility, you know.
Yeah.
And a man's responsibility is raising that kid in a proper manner, you know. So, as men, I believe we can't be anti-natalism because that's not our responsibility. Because if there's two tribes, you know, right? And one tribe has let's see, one female and 5 males, and the other have 5 females and 1 male. The one with more females will grow, but the one that has only 1 female probably will not grow because there's only 1 woman birthing children, and
Well,
that tribe's gonna die.
Well, no,
No.
that's assuming both tribes are in an absolute vacuum.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Yeah, I mean,
if those two tribes were even remotely within contact, the one with 5 men would just kill the one man and take the 5 women.
Wait. So are you anti or are you for?
No, I'm anti that because
Hmm.
birthing children it's women's problem, not ours. We have the responsibility of raising the kids to be proper people.
That's
Okay.
that's
So
what I was saying
putting
earlier.
and putting more responsibility on our shoulders it's going to be anti-productive for us.
All right, I see what you're saying,
Well,
man. But
I get it.
so we're gonna start with Black Wolf
Well,
because I'm about to go get some drinks right now.
all right.
What do you have to say, Black Wolf, about what we talked about today? Oh, what do you want to say to the Warband?
Well, I will say this. I'm always thankful to the Warband. I always love being here. And in response to the last comment, I get what you mean, but it needs to be said about this. When it comes to women, the closest thing they'll ever have to a rite of passage or any type of like adversity
Childbirth.
is childbirth. That's it. That is
Exactly.
literally the only thing that separates them from the child and being like a woman. Meanwhile, for men, it's a lot more complex. You're right. We don't have babies, and so we'll never understand that weird concept. But by the same token, we build and we shape the world that we're around. And when that is not maintained, we end up like the damn Smurfs, essentially. Like realistically, that would be hell.
Pretty much from radioactive explosions and yeah, I see what you're saying, man. But I didn't expect you to join, man. But thank you for stopping by, and I will be doing a stream tomorrow at noon. This will be the last stream I will do this late because the Warband is trying to figure out a schedule because everybody's streaming now. Everybody. So we're trying to not try to take viewers from other streams. You guys get what I'm saying?
I get what you
Yep.
mean.
We
Sure.
can't be
You don't
streaming
want to
at
be
the same
cucking each
time.
other.
Yeah, because we both lose, except for Undead Chronic and Ribby. They have like a shit ton of subscribers. But thank you for joining Black Wolf. There will be another live stream tomorrow. If anybody in the chat has a suggestion to talk about, I am down for it. Just let me know. Puniti, Black Wolf, Puniti.
Salute to you, brothers, and thank you for having me here. I always enjoy being here. I always leave learning something new, and I appreciate that this platform exists as well as maybe other platforms.
Wait a
So
minute. Why didn't you invite me to your last live stream?
wait, me?
Yeah, didn't you have a live stream before?
Oh no,
Like your most recent one? Or
no, I haven't. I haven't had a live stream in almost 2 months. I haven't made a
Alright.
video in almost a month.
Never mind. There were talks about you doing a live stream.
Yeah, I remember. I was gonna do one. I did have one set up, but I canceled it because I had I caught COVID like about like few weeks ago, and I couldn't do it, man. I was sick as a dog. I did have a live stream, but I canceled it.
Well, let me know if you're gonna do a stream. I'll bring everybody to your channel.
It's always
Oh,
good seeing you,
definitely.
Black Wolf.
It's always
Yep.
great seeing you, Alan Herman. Like I learned
I
a lot
remember
from
that
you
one
as well.
stream we were on where Sydney MGTOW jumped on. That was my first stream. I'm like, holy fuck.
But
That
he
was
joined you
cool.
guys' live stream?
Yeah, you joined my live stream.
You
I
and
was not
Manic were
expecting
on,
that.
and you guys left, and not too long after that, Sydney MGTOW joined. So if you
Why
guys
didn't
just
you
would have
let me
stayed,
know? You didn't send me no message or nothing.
this was a long time ago, like a long time
Yeah,
ago.
and I
wasn't
still remember you didn't send me a goddamn message. I would have been back immediately.
it? I think you guys had some Warband stuff to go do.
I mean,
So
I really didn't expect it. Like I wasn't even expecting him to show up. He came out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit, Sydney
yeah, he
Joe,
just
man.
randomly showed up,
No, speaking
and
of
like
Sydney MGTOW,
I'm like slowly getting better at streams, but it was my first stream and I fucking was horrible. And like I've been watching Sydney MGTOW for years. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. I'm about to
well,
look
let's see if
stupid.
he becomes a guest on a future live stream.
I tried to reach out to him.
But all right, Black Wolf, peace out, Puniti.
Peace out, brother. I'll definitely let you know when I'm doing a thing. Though I'll hit you up.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace
See you,
out.
dude.
Island Herman, you're next. Do you have anything to say to the Warband when it comes to what we talked about today or anything else?
Well, I got something to say about the rite of passage. So I think every young man should have to do like 90 days boot camp or something like that when they're 16, or some kind of combat sport, because those things really build character. And like, I never went to boot camp, but I kind of just want to like join the military to get through boot camp, and then just like peace out and be like, nah, I just joined for boot camp and now I'm out of here. But yeah, I think those things would be great to like build self-esteem for young men.
And build on working along with other men as well, working towards a common goal. I have
Yep.
a countless amount of people that I've met throughout my career, but more specifically basic training, where I'm still friends with a few of them till this day. We all have a Facebook group and everything. It's a good feeling, knowing that you accomplish your goals along the fellow men that did it with you. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's what's up, dude.
But rite of passage will be the topic tomorrow, but we will definitely go into detail tomorrow. I think this is a great topic to talk about.
Yeah,
hopefully
you
it won't
should-
get too ridiculous, but
You should watch some of Elliot Hall's videos. He's got a bunch of really good videos where he talks about this. He talks about how it was very important to take, because like when you're born, you're in the world of the mother, and then it's important at a certain age to be taken out to the world of the father, because mothers, they will destroy their children. They have to be the boys have to be taken away at a certain age, and that does not happen today.
wait, what you know about Elliot Halls? What you know about him?
I've been watching Elliot Hall since I was 14.
Me since I was 12 or 13.
Because
around
when I was younger, I was like wanted to learn how to get big and stuff, because I'm into bodybuilding and stuff. And Elliot Halse and the Hodge twins are like some of the first channels I started watching.
I'm
and so-
here for bodybuilding. And unfortunately, one of the first videos I've seen, he was doing his thing in the strongman competition and he tore his bicep.
He got all fucked up.
Yeah, that I don't even want to know, because I looked at other videos of men tearing the bicep and that looks painful. Like the bicep muscle curls up. Like it looks disgusting. Ugh. But that will definitely be a topic tomorrow for sure. Rite of passage. So
Dope.
If it's possible while you're on break, or
Yeah, I'll be at work tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be able to join. I don't get out until like 5, so.
but if not, too easy, I'll just continue talking about the rite of passage.
Yeah, I'll definitely be listening at work, brother. So.
All right, man. Peace out.
All right, peace. See you guys.
Unity.
Peace.
Unity.
Puniti.
Unity.
Just some random guy.
What's up?
What do you want to say to the Warband about the topic we were speaking of today?
I mean, there were a lot of topics actually. Which one in specific?
Rite of passage, the black community, and
I mean, not only on the black community, but it's more prominent on the black community for sure. But women in general, they have the talk that a woman can dress however she wants, right? But on the same note, but on the same note, they say, "Wait, are you going out like that? Don't you feel ashamed?" I mean, they want the man to dress a certain way, but when the roles are reversed, they say, "Oh, but it's my choice." I mean, the oxymorons. Seriously.
Yeah, and then they complain and whine and bitch and moan where they had to deal with the consequences of wearing that type of outfits. They'll get unwanted attention.
Like here in Brazil, there was a woman that was doing topless on the beach, and that's not actually allowed here, That's against the law.
Right.
And she was arrested, and there were a lot of those 304s on the screen. Just, oh, but that's misogyny. That's the result of a male patriarchy. And I was like, bitch, you're exposing your tits to the whole world. What do you want? Would you be happy if I went out to the streets only wearing my underwear?
Yeah,
Like,
when she gets that unwanted attention from bad men, it's still our fault.
yeah. I mean, it's the same like me going to the hood wearing a gold a gold Rolex on my wrist and gold chains, and I'm like, oh, here, rob me. That's basically what I'm saying.
Pretty
If I
much,
do
man.
that,
But
and rites of passage, man, that's really on point, because if you leave a child to be raised by its mother, the child will become soft. It's really, really rare in the cases where a woman can't properly raise a child, and even then, it's debatable.
yep, I agree. Which we will definitely elaborate tomorrow on this. This will be a phenomenal conversation. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining Just Some Random Guy.
sure. I
And
just wish that Roberto guy joined, because
who?
that guy that was promoting the internet natalism. Because
Oh,
I
that guy.
disagree. Yeah, I disagree, but I would like to hear his side. It's always good to hear other perspectives, even if we don't agree with them.
Right. But a lot of people these days, they're too afraid to be questioned about their beliefs or whatever. They're too afraid to be wrong.
Of the
That's why a
conflict,
lot of them refuses to call in.
they're not accustomed to conflict.
Exactly. But I'll definitely talk to you later, man. I'm just trying to end this
Oh,
stream
for sure,
soon.
man. For
Uh,
sure, man. Peace.
tomorrow I don't know where you at, but I'll schedule it right after the stream.
Sure.
Peace, Puniti.
Punichi.
All right. Carry on. You're next.
The black community, I guess that'll be the one I'll go for, since you got to go and talk about how to become a man, or trials and tribulations for children, so on. The black community as it is in America, and I can say decently some parts of England, especially if it's more westernized, it's not going to be saved, and it shouldn't be saved. Anyone that tries to save it is an idiot and is causing it to live longer, because it's a rotting corpse and it should be dead by now. But if you want to keep it alive, you can waste your time and waste everyone else's time. And the longer it stays around, the more it's going to affect every other aspect of black people more than it is. I believe it should be left to rot and disappear, so people could take certain aspects of it that are positive and rebuild it into something new without having all the messed up problems that have been around from, you could say, slavery, or even before that. There's a lot of messed up problems that people haven't dealt with, so that's just feeding into all this bullshit. And yeah, if you want to, I don't even believe that any woman is honestly good. I don't believe they're bad, but any country you can go to, you can say it's like the gambling is a little bit better, but if she has a gap, her true nature as a human female will naturally pop out if she sees the benefit and the opportunity to, like any creature. If a dog sees like meat on the table and it drops on the floor, it most likely will eat it, especially if there's no one around. So you can gamble what you want. It's all up to you. So yeah.
I see what you're saying, man. And I would never take that gamble. Ever. But thank you for joining once again. I know
Yeah,
I'm
that's right.
keep you waiting, but there was a guest earlier today. I had to invite him on.
It's fine. I have been bred to be patient through having too many brothers and being in a single mother household. It does help you with that aspect.
All right, then. Okay, thank you for being understanding, man. Tomorrow at noon, so it'll be a early afternoon show, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining, man, and Puniti.
Puniti. See you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, Gray, you're the last one.
Mhm.
Do you want to address anything that we talked about today, or anything else?
Oh, actually, I'll cover a bit on the black pill that was brought up very early in the stream.
Oh, that came out of nowhere. All right.
Yeah, no, and it was like kind of where the black pill guys are like, well, like women can't love, it's just a transaction. I think there's a slight clarification there.
Okay.
Like women can't love as men love.
Yeah, the way we love is different. Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem. I think a lot of the black pill guys, they're looking for male love from a female.
Right.
And that is something that is impossible.
Because she only loves what you provide, not for you.
That's the thing. But even
primarily.
But that's the thing. Like even at that point, like they're looking
Men
for
we
something
love idealistically.
But that's the thing. Even if a woman did love you to the best of her ability, and you did, and you thought, well, that's like so many of these guys, like they're upset that they don't have a traditional relationship, but they don't know what an honest traditional relationship is to begin with.
Well, is it futile when modern women don't know either?
But well, it's futile because they don't. If you're asking for a traditional relationship and you're asking for a woman to love you like a man loves you, you're asking for something that you don't know about from someone who's incapable of delivering what you think you want.
Which could be vice versa to modern women. Because modern women want men to love them the way that women love.
No, they don't.
Whoa,
women need men to.
But what I'm saying is, they're shocked when men are still turned off when it comes to them having a six-figure job, a degree, all that crazy shit that women are attracted to, or what women value. Men don't value that stuff whatsoever. Men value completely different things. And I see what you're saying, man, but men and women in today's society, there's a gigantic disconnect. Gigantic. Between both parties. But
well, that's the thing. There's the slight difference there is that a woman wants a man to value her by the same metrics that she values a man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
a
man wants something from the woman that the woman is incapable of providing to begin with.
So here's the thing: like a man projects his values on the woman, and the woman projects her values on the man.
Her wants
when it comes to dating. Yeah, wants. Yeah.
I wouldn't equate wants to values. That's all. Slightly, we're splitting hairs on terminology.
Men value loyalty, integrity, being a companion, sticking by his side and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how you say a man cannot come to that conclusion. He is unfortunately he cannot come to that conclusion that women don't operate that way. You know, in general, that's not who they are. They're not inherently loyal, integrity, all that stuff like men are. And then when you put it to the woman, they're busting their ass. I'm talking about modern women busting their ass with their corporate jobs, a degree, six-figure pay. They have their own house, their own car, and blah blah blah. And they still act confused on why men don't stay around because men don't value that either.
Well, I think another part of the reason why they're so confused is because men will still sleep with them. And men will still simp for them. it's
All
really
right, I see what you're saying. Okay, I agree.
so. Yeah, like honestly, that's something else that could be maybe its own stream in of itself. But
I'm
Yeah.
writing that down right now. That's a good idea. Yeah. The confusion. Yeah. Bam. Too easy.
yeah, because
I'm gonna schedule the stream because I'm probably gonna have 2 streams tomorrow. Actually, I just might.
yeah, well, my schedule basically restricts me to evening stuff only, but I'll see what I can do.
Oh, too easy. Yeah, you can just listen to the Rite of Passage stream at noon, and then the confusion between men and women on who values what. You know, the miscommunication. Since society is at a place, men and women, even though it's more effective on women, they truly, in my opinion, they generally don't know what the opposite gender wants. Like they truly do not know. I'm speaking just modern women and men. So we'll get into details with that tomorrow as well.
All right, sounds good.
But thank you for joining once again, Gray. Keeping it real with me. You're not a yes man. You know, you give me plausible opinions, arguments, statements. That's what we need, chat. We need more Grays. So tomorrow's Monday, right? So yeah. Expect at least 1 stream tomorrow. Expect at least 1 stream tomorrow. Thank you, Gray, for joining, and Puniti.
Thanks again for hosting, Puniti.
Too easy. Peace.
Peace.
And it's just me, your boy, Sir Yeetus, and I am closing out this stream. All right. When it comes to the 2 topics today, when it comes to the save yourself black men, all right, I'm doing this because I am an African American myself. I take that acronym very seriously based on my experiences in the black community, growing up and dealing with black women and how they treat black men. That's actually good-hearted, you know, not the thugs or Pookie Ray Ray or whoever the fuck they want to meet. All right. Statistics don't lie, and if we're going to do a part 4 in the future, I don't mind breaking up statistics when it comes to the black community. Best believe that. All right. I'm not the only one saying this. Just countless black manosphere channels that are saying the same thing that I am saying. All right. Why else all these black men are getting passports? Why else all these other black content creators are saying that the black community is beyond saving at this point? And then we will go to the gynocentric system. It's simple. Why will you participate in a game? Why will you participate in a system that's already rigged against you? That sounds like insanity. Why will you even try to participate in something that you know nine times out of 10 you will lose? Just like what the OGs said years ago, the best way, the only way to win this rigged game is not to play. Just walk away. Walk away. That's the only way you'll win. Think on that, gentlemen. Think on that. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had your daily dose of red pills. And I am out. Oh, go to Manic the Man Mechanic. Go to his channel. I don't know if he's doing a live stream today or whatever. But I am out. Peace.